I had a couple of questions about your debate that you had on Wix stream and kind of how
Uh-oh.
it seemed like kind of a pivot. And I just didn't know if you had changed your position on how you felt or if you were kind of just trying to not fed post through that whole debate.
I will say the sound of the Vesta board is very aesthetically pleasing. It kind of sounds like ocean waves, right? It kind of sounds like you're by the ocean and the waves are like softly crashing against the shore. That's kind of what it sounds like, right? It's nice.
What was the whole pivot?
Like these Nuremberg-esque trials of these people. And that kind of got, like, when you would talk about it on stream, it would kind of seem like you were saying, like, these people should be criminally charged, they should be jailed, they should, all this kind of stuff. And then
Based.
your main point,
Yeah, none of them should be allowed to
I
hold
was
office
kind of
anymore. 100%, yeah.
and then
Uh-huh.
anybody that did criminal activity should be criminally charged.
Yeah, I guess if there's whatever we can investigate them for, yeah. But the
I'm
office thing is the
Indian.
big thing.
Hello, Indian person.
Okay, so now I'm going to pivot to a semi-personal thing.
Uh-oh.
So there are talks in the subreddit often of how people feel about Trump voters in general. And so my question to you is, why do you still talk to your parents?
You're a pretty woman, thank you.
Because they're my parents?
How's the cosplaying
Yeah.
as an Indian person going?
But you would say that your parents are especially like Trump, like hardcore MAGA, like way deep, right?
Yeah, for sure. With some of the worst excuses for it, yeah.
So my question to you is, do you think that anything anything should happen to like people that are like diehard MAGA people? Not sorry, this I'm not saying that anything like to your parents or anything, but like, do you like what do you think is like a realistic expectation
just, like,
for these
voters
people
or
that have,
whatever?
like, yeah.
I don't know if you can
Okay.
punish people for
All right, here we
voting.
go. Good luck.
I mean, you've like said in the past, like if you could, you would like cut federal funding to, different places that voted for.
If possible. But I don't think there's a way to do that. But
Well, because
Well, I think it's a different question when you're talking about like morally speaking versus like practically speaking, right? Because morally, there's a lot of things that I would morally do, right? Like I would cut federal spending, in Republican states. I would criminally pursue all the people for January 6th properly again. I would undo a pardon. I would, I don't know, like I wouldn't extend a peaceful hand, basically. Like I think I would also send in the National Guard to red states to terrorize them for a little bit, just for memes and goofs and gaffs, because I think they deserve it. I think that, yeah, I don't know. There's like a lot of things that like I would do, in my opinion. Yeah.
my main concern is that a lot of people are like feeling like we need to like hold
Craigslist, yeah.
voters accountable. Like,
It's just 2 hours of Hobbitfollower cucking out to Republicans and saying Nuremberg bad. There's no way, right?
and a lot of people seem to think that like we should just like cut these people out from society and like they should be held accountable for their votes and things like that. And I don't know, it just seems like a lot of people are like super high, like, I don't know, they're at like a boiling point where they feel like not only do we need to hold Trump and the administration accountable, but we need to hold like anybody that ever showed
Hold yourself accountable for their vote. What the fuck? That's extreme. I know.
any
Right?
amount of support for them accountable, all the way down to like Joe Blow voter. And I'm just curious, like, what you think or what you would say to people
I
that tell
spelled
you
this
that
out.
kind of
It's
stuff. Like,
okay.
you should cut off your family completely. Nobody that voted for Trump in 2024
I mean,
can be taken seriously. And
cutting off your family is that's a different thing for different people. I'm very independent from my family, so like I'm not like reliant on them for anything. I don't have a problem just like standing up for myself when it comes to like fighting with my family over things. But for people whose families like are more controlling or bully the fuck out of them related to political stuff or whatever, I don't know, that conversation might look different. But like my family's also like okay with fighting. But my family would never like force an ultimatum on me. But if they did, I would leave in a heartbeat. Like if I was at like, Thanksgiving or some shit, and something came up, I don't know how this works.
Oh, my dad would force an ultimatum. Like he has so much issue with me just simply not being racist towards Japanese people. Because I remember him saying like, "Oh yeah, you need to be racist. You need to be racist. You need to be. You don't understand. We need to be racist. Okay, racism is good against Japanese people." It's like, okay, Jesus, like you sound a little bit unhinged here. I don't know. And they always say, "Oh yeah, rape of Nanjing X and Y." I don't know.
In other households, but if people are like, "Oh, well, you're dating this person," or "Oh, like I can't believe you guys believe this. You have to stop posting this, or we're gonna disown you," or whatever. I'd be like, okay,
But like I remember like my dad disowned me because I changed my last name, because like that last name holds a lot of sentimental value to like Chinese parents and Chinese families and shit. And yeah, like it's scuffed. Yeah, like they hold the card they gave me over it, right? Like before, and it's really
see ya. I was
stupid.
bounce easily. I mean,
Yeah,
the
fuck that
easiest
shit.
bounce in the
Yeah.
world.
No. But then it's like he says it's the easiest bounce in the world, but then like for other people, yeah, sure, it's really hard to bounce, right? Like especially if you're put in the tough position in life, and like you have financial dependability upon your parents, in some shape, way, or form. Then yeah, like they're gonna use that for sure, 100% they're going to use that, because why not? They only have something to gain from it, right? They don't have anything to lose for it, because by holding that leverage against you, right? So,
But that's a different. There's a lot of different things. That's one question, but that's a different thing than like the voter accountability. The issue that I have is that I don't like it that we are a part. Okay, first of all, I'll say probably 80% of the population that wants to hold voters accountable on the Republican side are probably just kind of like vindictive and team sportsy. Maybe I grant that much, 80% of them. But I would say that like there is a very real, frustrating, disgusting phenomenon that a lot of these Trump voters are taking advantage of the same systems that they're now trying to destroy. And there's like a special type of disgust that I feel for people who don't contribute much in taxes, who don't have much of an interest of the ongoings of the country, who don't, seem.
I started using my mom's maiden name as my stage name. It was way less common. When I was 19 and my dad lost his shit, I felt really bad. Yeah, because he probably felt like his manhood was being threatened. It happens really often. Like, my dad would never ever conceive of a world where instead of using, like, I would joke oftentimes I would just simply joke about using my mom's like last name and changing my last name to my mom's name. However, it's like even mentioning that gives him like a heart attack. Like, even mentioning that like drives him up the wall. Because yeah, I mean, in addition to my parents not really being good with each other, it's like, I don't know. It's like this masculine pride thing. That's
to give a fuck or know much about like the things that they're voting on, but they take advantage of, and they get to take advantage of all of the benefits from those systems, and then vote down and try to fuck over other people out of it just because they're too lazy to consume something beyond Fox News. Like, there's a deep-seated hatred that I have for this type of stuff. The first time I ever felt this was listening to my mom talk about with so much reverence of people who would escape Cuba, and then with so much disdain for people that were fleeing Mexico. And I never got a satisfactory answer. Like, Mom, like what? Like, you were always so happy whenever any family would ever got out of Cuba. What's going on with Mexico? And it's like, well, they should stay and fix their country, Stevie. Like, we can't have everybody. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, how do you do one or the other? I don't like that. Man. That drives me crazy, and I think it's egregious, disgusting behavior. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
But what would you say to like the people that are in that like 80% of like they want to hold somebody accountable, and obviously they feel like they can't hold somebody as powerful as Trump or anybody in this administration accountable, so they feel like
what would they say
going
to me?
After
let's say that my political party takes the majority, and let's say that I have my eyes set on vengeance for the very same reasons that we just said, and they've spent the past 3 decades calling me a communist, a socialist.
Do you believe in the Buddhist thing for family ancestors? No. Like, Buddhism doesn't really have that much of a stranglehold over the Chinese populace. It really doesn't. Like, if anything, I think the government and people who like came from China, like they're just not really religious in general. Like, one thing about like East Asians is that like if you were to compare comparatively between China and the United States, like they're just not very religious. Obviously, there's a bunch of other problems that we have to talk about, but like religion is not one of these problems typically speaking.
Saying they're trying to trans everybody. Now I'm in power. Well, what would they say to me to convince me otherwise? What is their attempt to try to salvage that conversation?
Well, I'm not saying like somebody that's in power. I'm saying like
no, I'm asking them. I'm asking what should the ordinary voter say to me? Where I'm saying, hey, I noticed that you really like those GLP-1s. I see you guys are on that diabetic medication. I see that you guys are taking advantage of that newer insulin I see for your diabetes. And I also noticed that you guys are literally axing new cancer treatments because it has the spooky abbreviation mRNA in it. And now I have the opportunity to get vengeance on you in whatever way possible. Talk me out of it. What would that voter say to me? I just didn't know. I don't know anything. I have no idea what I'm voting for. I just repost the memes because I think they're epic and base.
That is honestly probably what most people are low information voters, so they see things like one of the
By the way, just the low information voter thing is a convenient excuse for privileged people, okay? Because there has to be consequences, in my opinion, for ignorance. All right. Like, I used to believe that maybe if you're just ignorant, like it would be more okay. But I think it actually makes it less okay, because you live in such an environment where you feel as though your vote is not going to affect too many things to where you feel comfortable with your vote. But if anything, the excuse to not learn about the things that you're voting for is in of itself a malicious action, in my opinion. Like, you being ignorant is a malicious action. That is malice. That is evil, right? I don't know. Like, I think I find myself changing my mind over this, like, over time, where the more I think about it, the more I begin to believe that all evil movements throughout history is just perpetrated by ignorant and stupid people. It's not about, like, the malicious people at the top. It's about malicious people manipulating stupid people and ignorant people to do things. But the ignorant people have always had the ability in the first place to change themselves and to learn more things, as to not be like swayed by this, and everything is in their power to do so, but they just choose not to. And I think to me at the very least that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable to me, because you choosing to stay ignorant is 100% a malicious action. Okay, like there's no way else like for me to describe things. Anyway, Gabe Bittner 4101, thank you so much for the tier 3 sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Is your response to educate yourself? Would you support requiring people to pass the test before being able to vote? No, absolutely not. The reason is because typically when the Republicans did it before, it was about it was specifically because like black people were like they wanted to bar like a bunch of black communities from voting liberal shit because they know that a lot of literacy rates among the black population is not good. So that's why they were doing it. However, I will say that having consequences, like what Steven is talking about, is 100%. I'm on 100% on board with that. I think that having like actual substantial consequences for people who make other people suffer and also receive the same benefits, like I don't know, but to prevent people from voting in the first place, no. I don't think there should be any consequences for that. But there should be consequences in having like after you vote and after everything has settled in and people have in fact died, then yeah, I think there should be consequences. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't know. If you put your penis in a tight light socket, what the fuck? And cause the power outage town-wide, I don't really care if you didn't know better. Exactly. Yeah, I don't care if it's a person with Down syndrome. Lock that person away or fucking throw them away, right? Like in my opinion. Anyway, yeah. Need federal national tests and cannot leave the questions up to the states. No, I wouldn't even put it as a possibility in the first place.
The main things that comes up is like people that
this Hobbit guy reminds me of Wick. I mean, that's not a good thing,
okay,
right? Yeah.
So I've shared this in the subreddit, so I'm not going to be like sharing some crazy story, but like my dad is starting to turn on Trump. Like he's just like a Reagan conservative guy that like, you know, talks about lower taxes and all that shit. Never like really was like, doesn't own any like Trump memorabilia or go into any of that crazy kind of shit.
Sure.
But like one of the things that,
which is, by the way, as hard as it is to believe, is even though it seems impossible, there's probably still the majority of MAGA voters are not like,
I would say
all
it's like
the
at least 70%.
Probably it's at least like 50-60 for sure. Yeah, it's probably the majority of them aren't like, oh, MAGA right or die Trump or whatever. That's probably the case. I would believe that. Yeah.
So one of the things that's like I just saw him for like our Thanksgiving that we did this last weekend, and like he keeps seeing like ICE videos over and over on like his Facebook feed, and that's what's like causing him the most like frustration, and where he's like not supporting, like he still supports Republican policies, but like doesn't support Trump anymore because my dad was a police officer and he took that shit super seriously, and like he just sees these people like they call that shit like jump out boys. Like
most police officers take their shit seriously, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing, right? The way that ICE conducts themselves is like very, very, very far, even from like corrupt police officers. Like it's not even close. Like even the most corrupt police officers can't even match up to the like close to the shit that ICE is doing right now. It's not even close, okay? Like even a corrupt police officer would not fucking block bad people without any kind of due process and try to ship them off to fucking El Salvador, right? Like yeah, it's silly, but yeah, I don't know.
Like it's like, you know, like
when you're there to just arrest some people up, you drive up, you hop out of the car, you beat the shit out of people, arrest some people, whatever, right?
Yeah, and it's fucked up. Like it's the shit that they would like have on like a cop drama, you know, that like anybody that has any sort of law enforcement experience would know that like it's wrong, and it's, you know, that's just what's kind of turning my dad. But then you have people that say like, well, what did they think was going to happen? They kept saying like mass deportations now. And my thought process and like kind of what I'm getting at with this is like a lot of people in this community, I feel like, are very nuanced in like a lot of different things.
Bro, you know what the test, the voting test would be? Holy shit. Hold on. Let me cook. The voting test should just be name 10 NBA players. Name 10 black people. Oh my god. That should be name 10 famous black people. That should be the question. I would like if I had control over a test like that, if you dare give me control, what is the new Insane Destiny drama? It's clickbait. But like if you were to give me control, all right? If you give me control of the test, I'm gonna use it to troll, okay? I will use it to troll. I will do it, okay? I will do it.
And they try to get to like
question should be name 3 Kardashians, and if they pass, you ban them.
The bottom of how and understand how people are thinking and get to these different thought processes, but then they hear it's almost like these like not slogans that we made up, but like the idea that people would think that mass deportations means that we're gonna roll up in like a Toyota Sienna, unmarked completely, and jump out and like attack a fucking landscaper and pull him into the van. Like people
They were
use
named for
that kind of thing to be like, well, what did they think was going to happen? It's like, well, most of these people probably thought that it was going to be done the correct way. It might have been expedited. It might have been, you know, in some sort of way that is, you know, a little bit out of the norm. But like most people, when they saw mass deportations, they just thought illegal immigrants were going to be deported from the country, not that they were going to be like ripped off the fucking street, you know, with no due process and any of that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I was just, the WIC panel kind of like made me think about how people are starting to like be in that 80% of like just wanting to have some sort of vengeance against these people, but they're not understanding that, like, I would say a majority of people.
Dude, I'm just gonna make a guess here, okay? What game are you playing? It's Chaos Zero Nightmare. Let me just make a fucking guess here, okay? Let me guess. Hobbitfollower is old and white and a guy. Is that a reasonable assumption to make? Considering how all the people who are like trying to cuck out to moderates are like old white men constantly. Every single time they're trying to fuck over the country, it's always old white men. I think, dude, because it used to be like the progressives would be like, oh, I don't know why all of our senators are like old white men, to which we will say, well, I mean, it's because you guys never vote. The reason why everybody is old white men is because you guys never vote, right? But then later on, right after we did that, we're like, oh yeah, it's actually based to have old white men because they can still represent these positions. They can still represent like, oh yeah, these even though like they aren't actually part of that community or anything like that, they can still understand the issues and they can still pass legislation on that, right? Now I am reeling it back, okay? I'm reeling it all the way back to, I think I just hate old white men, okay? Like giving takes like this. Anybody who is in the 30s age category, okay? 35 or above white men, okay? Fuck, that's not even old. It's just like, yeah, anybody in that age category, I find have the most retarded takes when it comes to appealing to moderates, okay? It drives me up the fucking wall, okay? It's crazy.
Are swayed in some way and aren't fully understanding what it is that's going
Destiny? Destiny doesn't count. Yeah. Let's just say 39, age 39 or above, okay? For reasons.
on. And like, at the end of the day, we are going to have to live with these people. Like, we joke all the time about like Tim Pool saying civil war and all that kind of stuff. And like, hopefully that shit doesn't happen. But like, if we are going to rebuild the country, it has to be with everybody. And so, I don't know. Maybe
that's better.
I hate to like chalk up everything.
Guys, please go to my second channel, Snack Markets, found right here, and go and subscribe to the second channel, because right now I need 1,000 subscribers on that second channel, so then I am able to monetize the second channel with ads, okay? Second of all, if you have a Kick account or you don't have a Kick account, create a Kick account. If you don't have one, go into my chat and say something in the chat. Just say anything in the chat, so then I'm able to get 250 unique chatters, so then I'm able to get it to the Kick partnership, okay? So that I'm able to do that.
People are young, but like that's what it feels like sometimes, is that people have grown up in the era of Trump, and that's like all they know about politics. And so they feel like there's going to be no getting out of this. The more that people bury themselves in that, I think we're just going to be like in a bad spot. And I just want to know what you personally thought about like the people that do want to go after these voters that have supported Trump in whatever varying degree. You know, like obviously, like if somebody's a Jan 6 writer or something, or somebody that's like that extreme, they should be held accountable for that kind of stuff. But like at the end of the day, we do have to realize that like we're in an exceptional place where we understand things a lot more than most other people. But
I guess I just like my issue is, and I don't know what most conservative households are like, but like I grew up in a fairly conservative household. Politically, they were very conservative, and I would say socially we were quite conservative. And there was just so much I heard from my parents about like personal responsibility, and that ignorance wasn't an excuse for your actions. And what did you think was going to happen if you hang out with these people? What did you think they were going to do?
I'm going to predict what Hobbitfollower is going to say next. He's going to say, well, yeah, it's true when it comes to personal responsibility, right? Like, yeah, there should be personal responsibility. But he says, yeah, but that's their values. It's not our values. Obviously, we should punish them according to our values, right? But again, like, obviously, I would say I disagree, and then I would probably say, like, listen, I'm just shadowboxing right now. Yes, I am shadowboxing Hobbitfollower, okay? Let me do this. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's probably
like, why would you expect anything different? Like, this is why it's important to choose your friends well, or to go to school and not skip class, or don't even smoke a single cigarette, or one weed will take you all the way down to heroin town or whatever. Like, I just heard this stuff over and over and over and over again. And then I see them voting for a guy who you have to do a little bit of mental mind tricks. Even for the average person, you have to do a little bit of mental mind tricks to understand, or I'm sorry, to trick yourself into thinking this guy's not just like a malicious piece of shit. And then when you've gotten to bask in the maliciousness for a decade and to revel in the antagonizing and to revel in like the vitriol and the hate.
Yeah, like the worst part is that, no, hold on. Like I would even say ignorance. Like, okay, yeah. So I would normally say like, oh yeah, we should forgive ignorance and stuff like that, but it's not even just ignorance. It's like malicious ignorance. It's malicious ignorance, right? Like ignorance can be malicious, right? If you choose not to learn something because you're afraid of the facts, or you find the facts, but you choose not to believe it, right? Or you still revel in the cruelty despite knowing something is true. That's like malicious ignorance. That's not excusable. Like in my opinion, that's not excusable. That's insane, right?
And the lies, and you got to enjoy that.
Willful ignorance. Yeah, sure, but like willful doesn't sound forceful enough. I want to say malicious ignorance because that is the only way I can accurately describe it.
Bust 4,000 nuts on owning the libs, and now when it looks like the power is slipping, well, it doesn't really look like there are so many things.
Like, how could you say that you want? How could you say you want like politeness over the table politics when you're trying to own the libs? Like you can't own the libs and also do politeness politics at the same time. That's not a thing. Stop. Okay. If you want to play by the rules, again, if you want to play by the rules of owning the libs, then we're going to play owning the conservatives, okay? We're going to play the game owning the conservatives by cutting off your source of like funding, right? Fine, we'll play by the same game. It's not fair that you play the game owning the libs while we're playing, oh, let's just all be nice to each other. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's crazy. What's the new lore drop? The new lore drop is that Destiny has to constantly contend with retards who don't understand the current state of politics, nor do they understand basic facts about politics or how to play politics in the first place, right? People who don't understand fundamental philosophical principles because they're either too privileged to learn about it, or they're too ignorant to learn about it, or they're just too stubborn to learn about it, or they'll never suffer the consequences of it. That's the problem, right? Because right now we're on the ticking time clock and people are dying and people are getting kidnapped and shit like that. Ain't nobody got time for politeness politics. Like, what the fuck, bro? Anyway, yeah.
That I could quote,
you're welcome.
Like right back at least at my conservative parents. Like, it doesn't sound like you're sad that you broke a rule. It sounds like you're sad that you got caught. It doesn't sound like you're asking for genuine forgiveness. It sounds like you just want to escape the consequences of your actions. Like, that's what it sounds like, that they just wanted like a get out of jail free card, but they got to bask in it. And it wasn't like it would be something different if it was like, I sound partisan when I say this, but like Obama and Biden were not like this. I don't remember Obama getting on stage like, yeah, we fucked those conservatives up. We owned them. Lock them up. Like, this just didn't happen. It wasn't there on the other side. But conservatives come at us with all the vengeance that I'm suggesting half of, and then they're acting incredulous over it. I don't understand how that happens. Obama and Biden, right? Like I said before, like nobody. It's a joke to even think about the idea that somebody's committing a terrorist attack with a Biden sticker inside their locker. But for some reason, we're supposed to believe these were the evilest, most vitriolic politicians ever, and that's why conservatives are so incensed. And they got to hype themselves up on that shit for a decade, and now they're like, ooh, maybe we were actually wrong the whole time. And not for like super mysterious, like this guy hoodwinked us, but like we did vote for the grab him by the pussy guy, the guy who made fun of McCain for, being a fucking war hero, the guy who had nicknames for all of his opponents, who cheated on his wives. Like, how many times have I heard from my parents, like, moral character is indicative of your quality as a leader. How are you going to take advice from somebody who can't manage his own household? How do you trust somebody who cheats on 1, 2, 3 wives? Like, I've heard all these things over and over again, but somehow none of it applies to them in the most detached manner possible. We're not even saying like who's your personal friend, who you vote for. It makes it really hard. That's why I'm asking, like, what would they say to me? Convince me that I should give a fuck about what you're saying, because they'll throw that same thing back at people who are in infinitely worse positions. Like, what am I saying? Like, maybe you guys should have a reduction in Medicaid. They're like, oh my God, that's horrible. Meanwhile, they're like, maybe you should have your entire family uprooted and sent to a concentration camp in El Salvador because who knows what you were or weren't up to, and there's no due process for you. Like, how am I supposed to have sympathy for the other side? How would they convince me of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to have sympathies for them. And
no, you keep saying I'm not saying. I'm saying if I was in front of that voter, I would say, convince me. What could they possibly say? What would they say? What would they say?
That's where it.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know. My family isn't like that, so I don't interact with people that are like that, deep into it. Like, if any interaction I have with those kind of people is like at work, and I just ignore that kind of talk. So I don't personally interact with those kind of people to where they've been like fully in support of that kind of stuff, and like I would imagine they would have nothing to say to you, because that's generally what happens is when something goes wrong, we, like, from a moral standpoint, are better people, and we eat shit like consistently, like every single time. And I don't think that that's necessarily like right in that we always have to be the bigger person, but like,
Hold on, why? Okay, see, this is the cope, right? Hold on. What I noticed to be the cope is that commonly, like people who are on the side of anti-tit for tat, is that they will say a lot of the time, well, I mean, we have to appeal to the moderates. We have to appeal to the moderates. We have to appeal to the moderates because we are winning, right? We're winning the current battle, right? We won the last election, right? We won the last elections. We won Biden's presidency in 2020, right? Like, this is the cope, okay? But that's a cope, all right? That's a cope, okay? We're not winning. We're not winning. Stop. The fact that you're even suggesting that we're winning makes us lazy and complacent, okay? You are giving yourself the excuse to procrastinate. That is what's going on, all right? You are giving yourself the excuse to procrastinate, allowing the further festering of this toxic ideology, like sinking into our fucking muscles and our fucking skins, giving us muscle paralysis. And you're telling us, well, I mean, it hasn't like caused our lungs to stop breathing yet, right? No, motherfucker, that poison is reaching our lungs as we speak, right? Like, I don't know. It's really stupid, okay? You shout out the other chatter's name for being good, and I just used my real name. That's all I meant. Lol, I'll workshop the joke. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. So yeah, like, I don't know, like that's just my thought process right now at the very least. But
ultimately, for the sake of whatever, like the country, we kind of have to do that every single time.
Or we don't, or we could start levying consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where, like, I agree with you when it comes to like
See, if I was a black woman, I'll be like, mm-hmm.
people in power, which I actually I don't even fully agree with like your sentiment on, like, I think if people start turning on Trump right now, like there should be like a grace period right now. Like, we should be trying to get people to turn on Trump. Like,
I think the grace period was
Congress.
January 7th in 2021. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
how can there be a grace period now? This is his last election. He can't even run again.
Because he still has 3 more years, and if there's people that
Hold on, I'm a black woman. Mm-hmm.
want to actively work against him, that even if they've supported him, you know, up until this point, you know, it's like we're in a movie, and as of right now, there was a bad guy who's, you know, going to help us with something, and we're like, oh, well, actually, you're a bad guy, and I'm actually not going to let you help me out. You know, like, I just feel like
Faithless from DG Chat. Foodshops, also the only real reason you're winning because people like Destiny won't stop screaming and shouting about the current admin. Yes, exactly. It's also like misattributed credit as well. Like, it's like stolen valor in a way. Where I don't know. Like, dude, it's just like, fuck me. Like, the people who want to appeal to moderates are not pulling their weight, okay? They're also not pulling their weight, and I think that's also one of the most important parts. Because people who like argue to appeal to moderates, they are people who constantly bash the left. They spend all of their time bashing the left. They bash leftists, sure, but you're presenting them as left-leaning, okay? You're not presenting them for the Republicans that they truly are, and that's also part of the problem. You're not Republican jacketing Hassan Piker. You need to do that, all right? If you're going to spend all of your time bashing leftists, you need to not pet jacket, fuck it. You need to right-wing jacket all of them as Republicans, right? That's what you need to do. You need to do that, okay? Because every day that you don't do that is another day that you spend contributing to rhetoric that harms the left overall. Like, for example, Hutch, right? Hutch, who is right now spending all of his time bashing leftists, but he's not bashing them as Republicans or pseudo-Republicans or like Republicans in disguise, because that's ultimately what they are, right? They're doing a really, really good job at convincing people to go and vote Republican because, oh my God, Kamala Harris can't do anything. Oh my God, Joe Biden couldn't do anything. Oh my God, there are a bunch of genocide supporters. They bash the Democrats for that. But that's the thing, okay? They are actually Republicans. Hassan Piker, that's a Republican, okay? Emma Vigeland, that's a Republican, okay? Kyle Kalinske, that's a Republican, okay? Because ultimately, whenever they bash the Democratic Party, that's a Republican move to do, okay? If you're gonna bash all these people, bash them as Republicans, okay? Just say that they're Republicans, at the very least. You should at least paint them as like right-wingers, okay? You are doing a disservice by painting them, all right? You need to be like Clea, okay? You need to paint them real, okay? You need to paint them on God, paint over them, all right? Bro, you need to do some Expedition 33 up in this bitch, okay? You need to actually do it right, okay? Anyway, it's easier to call them fucking commies instead of Dems. Yeah, that's fine, but then they associate the Democrats with communists. Does that make sense? They associate that with the Democrats. If you call them communists, the people will just instantly think of Democrats, right? Because they have no exposure to leftist IRL. Okay, that's the first thing that they're going to think of. So be careful. All right. Anyway,
we're in the position to where, like, ultimately, if we don't accept people that are like starting to make change and like disavow Trump, like even if they're terrible fucking people, like I'm not saying that we need to like.
Yeah, but I feel like if we
prop
think to
up
like
Marjorie
even if we
Taylor
think of like
Greene.
media for bad guys that turn, aren't these guys usually the ones in media that end up paying like the ultimate price anyway? What was the name of or was it Landu in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Like he ends up dying at the end, but he tries to help us and he tries to do the right thing at the end. Or what was the name of the guy who got tempted by the ring in Lord of the Rings? Who get the guy Sean Bean's character? They get shot and killed by the arrows and
like Boromir.
Sure, he's not.
Hello, who asked for your opinion, Mutin? Shut the fuck.
Like a bad guy, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any mainstream media or not mainstream media. I don't know if there's any like common media art where like there's a super bad guy the whole time and then he just like turns good and all is forgiven instantly. Like usually there's some like contrition or repentance or something has to happen there.
Well, yeah, it's not like the person says, well, now Trump's bad and we flip the switch and like everything's okay. I'm just saying like we have to take that and build off of it and see if there's. The unfortunate part is anybody that's ever spoken out against Trump and like gone against Trump just resigns and they stop being in politics. And I mean, ultimately, if that's what it is that it takes and these people start to turn on Trump and then they just never go into politics again, you know, historically, well, over the last 10 years, his candidates don't win. The people with his positions don't win. He is exceptional in that he can act the way that he acts and get elected. It's kind of like the Squad was like a.
Dude, I hate this topic because this topic stresses me out. Like, for example, if I'm debating Expedition 33, I feel really relaxed in a way debating the topic because, oh my god, this is not going to matter IRL, right? But the reason why like topics like this like stress me out is because I know that there are real life ramifications for everyone, okay? Including people outside of the United States, which is why I'm like, which is why especially when this is why this topic triggers me, okay? I don't know. Like, I just wish that people would realize the weight of the world. Ooh, right,
one-off thing for lefties. Like most people can't do that. So if we can get these people to turn on Trump and they resign and do all that kind of stuff, is that not just basically what you're?
But what's the lesson they're learning? Is to turn on Trump once he's lost his popularity?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what more do you think you can get out of like a Congress person? You're not going to get.
I can expect leadership.
Bro, it's literally the same fucking talking points from these, like, appealing to moderate types as well. Like, they'll make the same fucking talking point. The talking point is, well, we have to wait until Trump slips up. Stop. Right now. Trump has slipped up 50 trillion times. And we have taken advantage of so many of these situations. Are we winning yet, Sonny boy? We're not. Okay? So shut the fuck up, right? Like, I hate this idea of like, oh my god, we have to wait until Trump slips up. Stop. Like, that's 1 billion of them. Like 100,000 of them are like, bro, 100,000. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, bro. That has been the way that the Democrats have been doing things for the past 14, 15 years ish, maybe 10 years, right? Is waiting for the other side to slip up ever since the beginning of time. Stop. It's a different game now. The game is changed. Okay, it's like Tron Legacy. Daft Punk, the game has changed, okay? You can just play in your mind, okay? Over and over again until you get the point. Like,
I expect leadership.
Yeah, it's not the same. Anyway.
Or at the very least some moral fabric to the party or some moral fabric to the voter base at least. I think that's a bare minimum expectation. Like Trump didn't have to win the primary in 2024. Like they had Nikki Haley, they had DeSantis, maybe they're not the best candidates, but morally and in terms of how they would govern,
you cannot lead the retarded people to the vote. Sorry, no, that doesn't work, okay? Because I was trying to combine the people are retarded. The people are the retarded. Okay, there you go.
Superior to Trump for sure. DeSantis.
Okay, game are playing? Chaos Zero Nightmare. It's a Gunner game. I don't like the Gunner part of it, but I like the gameplay loop. Okay.
They should have Bernied Trump in 2024.
No, I'm not saying they should have. I'm talking about the voters. I'm saying the voters chose Trump. Yeah, and it's just. Yeah. There's a deal with the devil type of thing you can do where you're just like, you're kind of sort of having to work with a guy and it's like, oh, okay. But then there's like you're reveling in it, right? Like it's like the whole thing where I would talk to these epic centrists and I'd be like, well, who did you vote for? And they're like, it was rough, but like I had to side with Trump. And it's like, oh, okay. And when I open their Twitter feed, it's not like we need to make the best of the Trump admin, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, epic fucking lib tears, Trump forever, Trump, hashtag anal my wife, Trump the best person ever. Oh my God, I love like Trump presidency, epic, let's go guys. It's like, okay, what the fuck? It's not like a regretful vote that you had to do. It was like you super love it. And I understand the average voter is not maybe that gung-ho about it, but like, damn, again, like the conservative parent words come back. You are who you hang around, garbage in, garbage out. Like I heard so many of these things growing up, and now they want to just be able to walk away scot-free. That's just crazy to me.
But that's where I think
My question is like, dude, where does Hobbitfollower draw his line, right? Like, where does his line begin and end?
just
right?
being realistic in your thought process of it, especially when it comes to like the average voter that voted for Trump, like you're not going to get anything, and you just kind of have to be
Zip Zip is
okay with
here.
not getting a single thing from these people.
But then how? But then
And, like-
let's say the next time a Trump-like figure comes up, in
It's
their
over,
mind,
dude.
in my world, maybe they're thinking like, oof, the last time we did this didn't work out too well for us. But in your world, it's like, you know what? I think we can hop on this ride again and see how it goes. And if it's fucked, the Democrats will just bail us out and govern the country again back to normal. Why would I want to have the latter impression in their minds when we could implant the former now?
Because I think that regardless of who comes up next in the Republican Party, most of these voters are just going to vote for that person. They're not voting for them because of, these extreme policies and things like that. They're just voting. Most people are just voting for the party.
Well, what about the
So-
primaries? People voted for Trump the second and third time.
But that's where,
Why
like,
are you giving people the benefit of the doubt when, like, if you voted for Trump in 2024, you voted for the guy who did J6?
Well, most people don't have any idea about anything related to that. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
but they should, so you still shouldn't give them
Destiny never
benefit of the
released the video, so they never learned.
true.
But they
No.
should have.
Dude, people only learn about people only change their minds when it just begins to personally affect them. And if they still don't change their minds, then there is no changing their minds, right? Like there are family members who has died from COVID and people who have lost their Latino wives, okay, to ICE, to COVID, to whatever, right? And they still have not learned. There's no saving them, okay?
They didn't
They
need
should.
this committee. You could
I
just-
agree with you, Zip Zip. They
Yeah.
should have, but they didn't. And so that's,
like, ignorance isn't a fucking, like, excuse, right?
I guess the other issue
I mean,
that I
it
have
is
is
for
that
most things, yeah.
the other issue I have is that like you're always pairing rights with responsibilities. Like agency is rewarded with freedom, and when you start to lack this agency, then rightfully so, that the freedom is taken from you. Right? Children aren't allowed to participate in society in a lot of ways, but they're also free of a lot.
My ex downplayed COVID, almost died, expressed how serious it was, then downplayed it out of loyalty for Trump. Yeah, like even then, even if you introduce material consequences, they are so indoctrinated into the cult that not even they could like get out of the situation. But that's not an excuse for not trying to have material consequences dealt to them, right? You still need to find out a way to deal with them material consequences, despite the fact that they're so deeply entrenched inside of that cult, right? It's not an excuse for inaction, in my opinion. You should be performing the action anyway, because to be frank, like I just don't have, I don't know, like, we just can't do this anymore. We can't do this. We can't do this. We can't have another January 6th. It's because guess what? He's going to learn his lesson. He's going to come back stronger than ever. And he's going to reenact January 6th in a way like, or January 6th isn't going to happen in the first place. Right. And then he's going to find out a way to perfect the art of insurrection. Right. The worst part of all of this is they'll find out a way to perfect the art of insurrection. That's the worst part of it, okay? It's not just talking about insurrection, but just perfecting the art of overthrowing a democracy, right? Which is part of the pressure. By the way, you guys should join my Discord server, discord.gg/Foodshops, okay? We argue on there about topics like this all day long, all night long. We hang out in the voice chat all the time about topics like this. Please consider, coming to our community, hanging out, all right, having a great time. All right, it's one of the best things, best communities. I heavily moderate it. I make sure nobody gets any harassment there, okay? All the girls that disappear from all the other spaces come to congregate in my community, okay? Because I protect them, okay? I'm just saying, okay? Listen, the problem with being a girl in Wick's community is that he cannot protect you from himself, all right? Because Wick himself is a creepy old weirdo, all right? So you know what? Join my community instead, all right? Thank you.
Of the consequences of their actions.
Are you joining Discord right now?
But then as you get older, as you gain more rights, you also have more responsibilities. Like these things are always necessarily paired with each other, hand in hand. And the idea of allowing somebody to have the right to vote in an election and say, this is who I want my leader to be, and then to release them of all the consequences of that awesome choice, the ability to do that, is like, well, what are we even doing here? It's barely a democracy at this point. Nobody's taking their...
You have a channel where I can dump some of my stupid drawings? Of course. We have a channel called OC Creations. You can just dump all your shit there, okay? Trust me.
vote seriously.
You'll be fine. OC Creations. It's only for creations, okay?
I
Everybody knows you made it.
I don't disagree with you that, like, if there was some ideal way to surgically cut some sort of,
So cool. Yeah.
learning mechanism for these people, that we shouldn't do it. It's just nearly impossible. And so I think that it's like just as much of like a pipe dream as like somebody thinking that America is going to eventually go into like a communist utopia. There's just certain things that will just never happen in this country. And one of the things is going to be some sort of, whether it's like civic, I mean, we could change things for future generations and like require like civic education to be, 10 times better than it is. But for the most part, we're going to have to just wait for boomers to die out because they're.
Wait, I hate this idea of waiting for boomers to die out. This is a very toxic mentality. Oh my god, and it's so telling. It's so telling as well, like about like the state that we're in. Hold on. Then I'll probably join. Yeah, please. Like it's so telling to me when somebody says, "Oh yeah, I want to wait until the boomers die out." Wait, stop right there. Okay, you need to stop talking right now. You specifically, you as an individual, you have the privilege of waiting for the boomers to die out as an old white man. Okay, as an older white man, you have the privilege of doing that. The rest of us do not. Okay, and not to pull the trans card because I'm just gonna say I don't do that very often. Okay, I don't know. The fact that I cannot say for certain whether in the next 10 years, within that 10 years, I'm going to be shipped off to a death camp should be extremely telling of the current situation. The next 10 years is not enough to wait for the boomers to die. Okay? It's not enough. The fact that I'm not even sure whether or not the next 10 years will spell the death of me or not should be extremely telling. Okay? You have the privilege of waiting out these next 10 years. Okay, fine. You do that, right? But other people, they don't have that privilege. Okay, you need to stop. Okay, it needs to stop. It needs to start right now. The rectifying of the current political situation needs to start right now. Okay, people are already getting blackbagged off the streets, and people are still going, well, nothing ever happens. Well, stop. You only say nothing ever happens because you are an old white man. Okay, or if you're not an old white man, it's because you're privileged and you have the old white man syndrome. Okay, so yeah,
A majority of what the problem is.
I don't know if I
And
agree
then
with
from
that.
there-
If it's just a boomer problem, I don't know why we wouldn't expect this to flow down to every other generation.
Well, as far as like just voting down ballot every
Yeah,
time.
down ballot voting is always a common thing. But I just mean in terms of being okay with Trump's moral character. I think it's a lot.
Well, how do you? Well, no, that's what I'm saying is that you're going to have people that will always vote down ballot for Republican that are older. That those
hiding
kind
in
of
my
people,
basement? Okay.
the people that are older are most of the time people that just vote for the party, whereas like
The old
younger
people.
voters over the what?
If it's the old people, and that's fine. Just let Trump keep cutting Medicare and Medicaid, and just
But they don't cut it. They don't cut
Well, yeah.
Medicare.
That feels like political hobbyism rather than instead of political activism. Yeah, that's my issue. Is that I find a lot of people who want to appeal to moderates acting the same way as leftists do, where they feel as though nothing will ever happen and it's just the sports game. Oh, we'll just wait until insert team sports team here that has lost for the last like 5 seasons. Oh, we'll just wait until they win to have a party. Like, what are you talking about, man? You sound ridiculous.
That's what I'm
They just
saying.
cut
I mean,
Medicaid from the poor people that don't vote.
true.
Well, but when
Oh,
they
they
cut
wanted
Medicaid,
to.
they
Also, I wish it was sports. Because at least for sports, right, people's lives are not on the line unless you're talking about Europe, in which they burn down entire towns and cities and they kill people sometimes based off of sports. And you know what? Just ignore that part, okay? But I'm just talking about like, dude, politics is the all-encompassing everything of everything, okay? We don't play games like this, okay? Yeah.
seriously harm Medicare recipients because a lot of Medicare recipients
Yep.
also receive Medicaid. But like, that's where, to me, those people dying off is going to probably be our saving grace in, I don't know, 15, 20 years. But until then, younger voters they're not as like partisan, I guess, in their voting.
They might not be right now, but I think as they get older, though, I think just the tend of people, or they tend in that direction.
I think that people really need to start making the age argument. Okay, I don't know if Steven is going to make the age argument at some point during this like debate, right? But he needs to start making the age argument. The age argument is like one of the most important arguments that you can possibly make. Okay, because again, getting older is a privilege. Getting older is a privilege. Okay, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. And we keep forgetting that. We keep forgetting that getting older is a privilege. Because back then, when the lifespan used to be like 40 years or 50 years, okay, they thought that getting to 60 to 70 was a privilege. Okay? I think that shit is coming back. Considering how measles is coming back and all of this other shit is coming back, I think like we need to take a look at the lifespan shit and Start thinking about that shit, okay? Because trust me, yeah. The old aging out isn't a solution with how many young men seem to be going very right wing. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And they're not making an effort, they're not making a good effort at the very least, like people like Hobbitfollower. They're not really making a good effort to advocate for ways to appeal to young men. They're not, right? So they're not only are you a burden on the system, but you're a burden on the discourse, okay? You're draining the discourse of its funding. That makes no sense, but you get what I mean, okay?
I guess so. My question
You are a welfare baby of the free marketplace of ideas.
would be, so ideally then, what do you think should be done?
Like consequence wise, or what
Yeah.
should we be pushing to do? I think just as cooked as it is, we kind of just have to let it happen. So we have to be better. Like the unfortunate thing is that we have 3 more years of this, but
Sure. So let's okay. Sure, I got you. Okay. So let's say that we do that. Okay. And then let's say that the
Like, dude, when he said that, when he said, "Oh, we have to kind of let it happen," dude, I feel like my soul is like crumbling. That's what it feels like. It feels like my soul is crumbling. Like I am wasting away listening to it. Like that's how doomer this entire shit is, right? Like that's how doomer it feels. It just feels so bad. Like why the fuck would you say that? Holy stutters? I don't think it's stuttering that bad. I don't think it's that bad. Like, how could you say that? How could you say that's so insane? Like, you have the privilege to say it. Let it happen. You're saying that someone is being raped, right? And you're saying, oh, you should just let it happen. Just wait until the raping is over. And when the raping is over, then you can go to the police station. But like when you're getting raped, you should just let it happen. That's what I hear. Okay?
next Trump-like figure starts to come up again in the Republican Party, and imagine you're a Republican,
good.
why would you not just vote for that guy again and roll the dice again on it, knowing that there's always
I
going to be...
personally don't think that there's going to be another Trump-like figure.
Why? Hasn't the Republican Party just been like trending in this direction for the past few decades?
Also, you're just hoping. Like, it's just
No,
you're just betting that it won't happen. There's always a chance.
Honest looking fresh.
I'm betting that it won't happen because most people that are Trump-like in, like, if you're talking about like MAGA candidates, don't do as well as their more moderate counterparts.
And I think
that
somebody who is able to like reincarnate fucking Trump and get the same fucking level of charisma, whatever support that gets him.
I don't think that that's going to happen. That's why, like, when you look around the world and you have people like Farage.
No, it's like you're getting raped. It's like in the middle of getting raped. The moderate appealer is telling you, is the stream title just bait? In my opinion, this is drama. Okay, so it's not really bait. Okay, but yeah, in a way, whatever. Okay, it's not about interpersonal shit. Okay, it's about politics. But whatever. Okay, my political takes are correct. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Dude, it's like the person, bro. You know what? It's even more insulting. You know what's even more insulting is when someone is raping you, and then the person who says appeal to the moderates is saying, you as the victim is winning because after the raping is done, you get to go to the police station and report this crime. And you get to feel satisfaction from seeing your rapist in prison. My shit is so delayed and laggy. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh no, my internet shit is being, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Hold on, there's a lag spike going on. There's a lag spike going on. I think, oh shit. Do they usually throttle around this time? You know what? One thing that I look forward to is, oh my god, thank God I don't have to worry about things. All right, thank God I don't have to worry about the internet anymore. Like once I move places or whatever. Yeah, because right now the internet is fucking scuffed as fuck. People watch you for a reason. I didn't know there's a lag spike. I can't tell too much. Wait, what? Literally starting every few seconds. Radiant, I'm just gonna ignore you, okay? I don't think that's correct. As far as I know, the main reason why the average lifespan is around 50 years a bit ago was because of the insane rate of infant mortality back then. Oh, okay. No, okay, that makes more sense, actually. Yeah, sure. But like, in a way, it's... Oh no, it's back to normal. Okay, it's back to normal. It's green again. Someone's throttling you, right? I would suspect someone was fucking with you purposely. No, I don't think so. No. What the fuck? Otherwise, I would be throttled. Like, I would be throttled every single time I cover J-Stock, which, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's the most plausible. No, why would anyone throttle me? No, they don't even know where I live. Like, how? Yeah, they don't even know where I live. It's
in
fine.
the UK. Like, there's a reason why that guy sticks
Yes,
around with like.
correct. It hasn't happened yet. That's why it's.
Well, no, it's not even
hypothetical.
about happening
If
yet.
there
I'm just
was,
I'm just
then
looking at
Trump
like
might
I'm
do
just looking at the direction that things are trending in, and it seems like the whole Conservative Party is kind of trending in that direction. So I don't know why I would
I
expect
mean, a
it to reverse
housemate fucking
course.
with you? No way.
Like the Supreme Court is going
No
to be
way,
conservative for a
right?
long time.
No.
They got to have their 2
I
full
refuse to
terms of
believe
Trump
that.
and all the fun that came along with that, and their congressional majorities. They won their first popular vote in a long time. Like, and then at the end of it all, Democrats will go back and fix the country again, just like Biden did after.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I already made my analogy. Okay, thank God. I made my analogy before, yeah.
Trump handed him off the COVID disaster, just like Obama did after Bush handed him off the housing crisis disaster. So if the continues to trend in this direction, like I don't see why that would stop. Why wouldn't, if you were conservative, why wouldn't you just vote for the same type of candidate again in the future? I just don't know why you wouldn't do that. It seems like so obvious that you should do that. Like all of the incentive is
They
there for it.
can,
Because
but the router is like right there. You're saying like they can control via app, right? I really doubt that. I don't think so. I sure don't think so. I don't think I should ever assume malice like that. That's insane.
personally, I don't think that there's, and I mean, you could have
Yeah,
some
I don't-
hypothetical person, but
I don't think so.
I just think that realistically, most conservatives wouldn't do the shit that Trump is doing. So, like, when you take the tariffs, for example, even if somebody thinks that tariffs are a decent way to do things, they wouldn't do it in the way that Trump is doing it. Like, we could, and I've heard you say it in the past, like, tariffs aren't necessarily a bad thing. You can do them in a way that is beneficial to your domestic manufacturing or whatever it might be that you're trying to target. But Trump does it in such like he's just like throwing shit at the wall and hoping that a deal comes out of it or whatever it is that he's trying to get. I just don't think that anybody is that insane to where they would do it. Like, even if like
Yeah,
Speaker Johnson was the
So, like,
president,
in
like
2015, you thought that too, and then here's Trump. Like, just because you think it's unlikely, doesn't mean it.
I don't know why. Like, hold on. I don't know why like this is being said when we thought that they weren't ever going to touch food stamps or healthcare, but they touch food stamps and healthcare, right? It's always YouTube viewers saying I'm not lagging. Yeah, but like, dude, just listen, okay? It's probably a bandwidth issue. Probably no. It's just a lag spike. It's just a lag spike sometimes. Like, just wait a while and it's over. I'm not going to do any commentary. Here's the thing. It sucks. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trying my best. All right. I'm not going to do any commentary, so then you're not missing out on any content, okay? I won't do any commentary. I'll go back and review it if there's any lag spikes for kick viewers, okay? I promise, okay? I promise I'm trying to cater, okay, to everyone. I'm trying.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay?
What could
yeah,
happen?
but that's what I'm saying. Like, can you tell me somebody who is the next closest
But complaining over and over and over again does not help, all right?
person to Trump
Jesus.
right now?
Why should I have to show you that?
Wait, like the next
MTG?
politician would be
Because-
Marjorie Taylor Greene. It would be
because
Marjorie
in
Taylor
your-
Greene, right?
Yeah, MTG.
Okay. And do you think that Marjorie Taylor Greene has nationwide appeal to the level that Trump does?
What if she got it? She could.
Not right now,
Okay.
but she might in the future.
But she also couldn't. Don't hypothetical me into a fucking corner to where you say, well, yeah, but it could happen. It could happen. It could happen.
You're
Oh shit, I thought this was gonna be a regular fucking conversation, but this just turned into fucking... Oh, this is getting a little bit intense. They have no problem with imposing tariffs because they feel like they're being exploited by China or just to own the libs.
very
Yeah.
hypothetical. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I'm saying
Because
there's
historically,
always a chance, so you should be prepared for that shit. And you're fucking whatever you do right now should prepare you for the hypothetical future where that would happen.
okay, well, let's just take the 2024 candidates, for example. Do you think Ron DeSantis would be doing as much as Trump is doing? Ron DeSantis, as much as he's like
Dog.
a deflated balloon at this point, is the closest thing that people thought could replace Trump in that weird couple of years, right?
Yeah, but we saw the Conservative Party doesn't have an appetite for somebody like DeSantis. They want somebody more brutal, more evil, more malicious, more
Yeah.
vindictive.
No, they wanted Trump.
Who was
Period.
Somebody who is more malicious, more vindictive, more like.
But that's. I guess what I'm saying is that
Also, DeSantis is a piece of shit. I don't know why you're like. He's not like so much better than.
because
fucking
yes,
Trump.
he's a
DeSantis is way better than Trump.
DeSantis
He's
is
better, but not- that doesn't mean-
no, it is like it is almost like you cannot compare the two. I think if realistically that DeSantis made it into office, we would have problems like any Republican administration has problems, but it would not be anywhere near this. And so what I'm saying is I am going to point towards Trump being the exception. And
Hey, non-fun. Thank you so much for a rate, buddy. Thank you. You're very kind for rating me. Non-fun. Thank you. Thanks for a rate, buddy. People wonder what state I'm living in. I'm living in a state of denial. Okay.
That plays out in whether it's congressional seats or even governors. You know, like DeSantis is probably the closest person to a Trump-like figure that's a governor, or Abbott, I guess.
I'm fine. Hi.
But like, I feel like
Bye, Mr. Mutan.
we aren't taking.
Why does it have to be somebody that's like already in existence? What if it's somebody that just comes out of nowhere? Like like Trump wasn't in fucking politics beforehand. Why couldn't it be just another fucking random
When's the last
celebrity?
Republican president that came out of nowhere?
Trump?
Before Trump was in
didn't come
politics,
out
he
of
was a random
nowhere.
celebrity.
He came out of nowhere politically, you know?
He was a celebrity. He wasn't in politics.
not-
Why are you assuming that it has to be like a governor or like anybody? It could be fucking
No.
whatever random celebrity. Turn on the TV. What if that guy became the next Trump?
That's what I'm saying. As much as you're asking me this hypothetical, I'm just asking you, give me a person that realistically fits that
It could
description.
happen. Why are you talking about realistically?
Because we could
Realistically, it could
also
happen because we
die in
saw
a
it happen with
nuclear
Trump.
holocaust today, dude. Like
Wait, do you think
the
it's realistic or not realistic that Trump became the president in 2016?
it was realistic.
Okay, then why do you think it's not realistic that any other random celebrity could come onto the politics scene and then be as fucking insane as Trump is and become president?
I'm
It's a
not saying
forbidden
that
card.
somebody that is as
It wasn't just
insane.
like a random fluke. Like it could happen again.
Hold on.
History repeats, bro. That's the whole fucking meme.
It very much could happen again. But
Okay, so good.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
no, I never said that it couldn't. I'm saying
This is like so cancer inducing, dude. Fuck. Cause this is my favorite discourse topic right now. Like this really is my favorite discourse topic right now. Like I will find any excuse to see this tit for tat discourse because it's fun. It's fun. It's like it's a fun thing, right? But oh my god, fuck me. It's just I can't. It's frustrating. It's self-harm. It's self-harm. That's what it is. It's self-harm. Okay.
that
that's
you
what it is.
are.
You're not baking
Okay.
in to like you're not taking into account the possibility that it could happen in your current actions, suggestions.
And
It's
you're
like, I don't
taking
think it's
into
gonna happen,
account that
therefore you would never behave like that in any case. Like, I just don't think it's gonna happen, so I just won't prepare for that.
You need a bigger water bottle?
I'm not saying that we
Yeah.
shouldn't prepare for that. We should prepare for what is the most likely scenario
Brian C. Wait, you get a lot of hate, but you're alright? Wait, who? What about Brian? Are you hated for
to
something?
happen. Do you think it's more or less likely that the Republican Party moderates after Trump, or do you think it's more likely that somebody as extreme as Trump comes in?
Depends what Democrats do. Depends why he falls out of favor. It depends on a million factors. Trump could fucking like leave office or whatever. Just say it's like just regularly leaves office, and then the next person's even crazier. Oh, you not think that's possible?
I'm not saying that it's not possible. I asked you, what is more likely? Somebody that is going to be more moderate or just as extreme?
Why does it matter which one's more likely?
Because if we're planning for the future,
if I go camping and it's a 99% chance that it's gonna be fucking sunny,
Steven,
I'm probably still
what are
taking
you
a tent
doing?
and like a tarp. Say
True.
ignore the 99% thing. Let's say it's like 75 or whatever. You're probably still taking a tarp. You prepare for the
you're
worst case
probably going to
scenario.
bring your tent. You're probably going to bring your tarp.
prepare
You're
for
not
the
going to bring
worst case.
all of your Gore-Tex gear. You're not going to bring all of the shit that you would knowing that it was a torrential downpour. What I'm going
Stale? Why does that sound familiar? What did you come on to talk about?
what I'm saying is that people are acting as if the torrential downpour is the most likely thing to happen when it is a 99% chance of sun. So why are we placing all of our eggs in the basket that we need to figure out a way to get vengeance or a way to correct the mistake?
LSF? Oh, okay. Oh, you're stale. Oh my. Okay, you're not named stale in YouTube chat. You're Brian C. Wade on YouTube. Okay, I see. Okay. Hello, stale. Do you watch my dude? Do you watch my shit regularly? I don't even know.
That was made when the likelihood of it being made again in the next couple of election cycles is so low.
Because even though, if you want to say it's unlikely, the amount of damage that can be done is incredibly high.
True.
That's why you need to fucking take that into account very, very heavily. You need to make sure that you can correct this shit. Otherwise, this amount of damage or worse could be happening again.
I never said that it couldn't. It's just more likely that anybody else in What do you mean so?
Why does it matter if it's more likely?
No one's
Because
stealing and nobody else
my
talking about
whole
drama.
thought process is that
Nobody's
Trump
on
is an
it
exceptional person and is willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. And people
So,
are
there are
willing
other
to
exceptional
follow
people.
Trump because of the stranglehold that Trump has on people.
There can be other exceptional people besides Trump.
There can be. You're
There have
correct.
been other dictators in history. There have been other narcissistic people
You're
who end up
correct.
being leaders. There have been other, fucking fascistic leaders. Like, I don't know why you think this is not some fucking like, oh, 1 in 100 chance. Like, no, it's
Because if your entire worldview is based around the worst case scenario of anything that can happen, like there's a reason why like people
if your entire worldview is based off of the worst case scenario, stop. We are on the trajectory to a worst case scenario, right? Typically, when we talk about worst case scenarios, we're talking about if it just randomly happens, right? Oh, we have to have the security measure in place in case randomly this thing happens. Oh, we have to this X and Y just in case randomly this thing happens, right? Because typically when we're talking about typically when we're talking about like worst case scenarios, it's because it happens out of nowhere. There's not really much of an indication all that much beforehand that something might happen, right? So therefore you need to prepare really fast countermeasures to something, right? However, with this, we can see this coming 10 years away. So yeah, of course we know this is coming. It's inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? Yeah. Workshops, thank you so much for chatting in Kick Chat, okay? Blessings, light and love and light, and have yourself a stunning day. That is just about the kindest thing ever, okay? Thank you.
and I originally came in here because of
My
things
worldview's
that are
been on
happening in
Power
the
Rangers,
subreddit.
true
There's
and based.
reason why people make posts in the subreddit that are like, I'm so depressed, I can't get through like all of this different shit because of the political atmosphere. And so instead of like doomsday scenarioing everything that we do in politics, we
Well,
should
wait,
be
to be
thinking
clear,
about
the people are depressed because of the reality of what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
it's not because of the future hypotheticals. It's the fact that like we are
It's
watching
fucked.
like the fucking of a great empire for literally no reason whatsoever, and half the country seems to be cheering it on. I think that's where the depression comes from. You can lie about it and make people
it's
not
like
depressed,
Brexit.
but I mean, like, I don't think that's necessarily the way to go.
Yeah. Also,
Wow.
like the solution to that isn't then don't doomsday. It encourage people to, despite the fact that they believe whatever the fuck is possible, don't be a doomer about it.
God, what is it? Like, the only way evil prevails is for good men to do nothing. Evil doesn't prevail because evil is like not doing evil. There's always going to be evil. All right. But the only reason why evil will prevail is because you sit around and do fucking nothing while also proclaiming yourself to be morally good.
Fucking,
It's like, okay.
keep some hope alive. Do what you can, like shit like that.
sure, but
If someone's fucking like if someone's grieving their fucking parent's death, you wouldn't cheer that person up by saying, just like imagine if it was like 5 months ago when your dad wasn't dead. No, you would say, hey, you need to keep going, keep moving.
sure. Do you think that in this whole conversation, what I've been saying is that people shouldn't be worried about this happening again?
No.
Okay. What do you
When-
think my
When you're asking Destiny, like, oh, since you're worried about this, what do you think you should do? And Destiny says, oh,
Actually, no, fuck it. Fuck it. Nah. Do you think, so he asked, do you think over the course of this entire conversation, do you think that people should never be worried about something like this happening? You know what? Based off of the things that you're talking about right now, based off of the way that you're talking about this issue, I would actually say yes. You're basically telling everyone that this is not going to happen. Because to anybody who actually anticipates this happening and sees something like this happening down the road, you're not going to kick the can down the road. You're going to be nipping it in the bud, right? Nobody looks at a security exploit. Like, nobody who is good at programming will see a security exploit and say, well, let's not patch the security exploit right now, even though it's a huge security exploit. We're gonna wait until like we have ransomware infecting our entire servers and GKE and fucking whatever like cloud system that you have for us to deal with that issue. Nobody fucking says that, okay? If you're a good programmer, you would not say that, okay? It's the same thing, right? I don't think that should be controversial, and yet here we are,
because I
right?
think this is sufficiently important, such that X, Y, Y, I think we should do Z. And then you're like, no, but like, what if X doesn't happen?
No,
Or,
I started
that's
this conversation because people are saying that we should hold voters accountable. The issue is that it's not a realistic thing that
Look
can
at
happen. It's
Steven.
also not realistic that we're going to remove everybody from Congress that ever voted with Trump or supported Trump. So we need to have realistic conversations about what it is that we're going to do next. And the
Why do you think that's
idea
unrealistic? Wait. Why do you think getting every Trump-supporting congressperson out of office is unrealistic?
out of office in a way that, like, if there's 100 of them in office and we're going to remove them all simultaneously, why do I think that's unrealistic?
If you have enough
Is that what you're
of a
asking
majority
me?
in either half of Congress, you can just impeach all those fuckers,
Can you?
and
Do you
then
know
you
that?
can. Yes, that's how it works. Impeachments.
For senators.
Senators. Yeah, the senators can impeach their own. Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm asking you, just based on people saying that they like John Thune. Do you know much about John Thune?
I know some.
Okay. Do you think that people are going to vote to impeach John Thune from the Senate
Who's people?
with him having support? The senators.
The hypothetical,
the other
like,
senators.
whatever the fuck you want to, like, whatever the fuck the hypothetical is, we're just saying this is what should happen. It's a hypothetical where the Democrats have control of Congress, because it's like the whole conversation around
like a
midterms, what should be
super
done after,
majority.
right?
Like
The hypothetical, no, you don't need a supermajority to impeachment, but
how many votes do you need to impeach
if Democrats just win
somebody?
the majority, you only need to get so many Republican senators, and in theory, enough of them, after seeing an insane blowout in midterms, would be enough to flip.
Zip. Do you think that's a realistic thing that's actually going to happen?
Zip.
I would like for it to
Let's
happen.
say you impeach five
possible.
Let's say it was a 60-40 split in the Senate.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and we vote to impeach Ted Cruz,
No.
and 4 others. Okay.
Sure.
After that, do you think we're going to continue to be able to impeach the other 40 or the remaining of the 40, or do you think that at a certain point,
if you were able to do, because it's a vote, right? If you're able to do one, you're able to do any of the others, unless you're suggesting that the people would defect. In which case, like, the more people that you start impeaching, the more those are, okay, this person's out of office, so there's going to be a special election to fill their seat. And depending on how we got to that point, right? However we get to the point of having enough Democrats to do impeachments,
not even a good duplication.
That'll be like those quote unquote blue wave, right? So whatever special elections happen to fill those seats, you have a chance of getting more Dems on your side that will, keep voting to get rid of the rest of them, even if you have defectors on your side.
Do you think this is a realistic thing to put any energy into?
Yep.
I mean,
Really?
I don't know. That's a separate question, though, right? I don't know if realistically you get it done. I just think that
because my whole point is that people are clinging to these things that are never going to happen. So that's why I said earlier, like, instead of like pushing away the people that are starting to turn on Trump now, we shouldn't like forgive them for all their sins, but like we should be pushing for people to do that, because I think that, and you said it recently, that most politicians want to continue to be politicians, right? Like that's their main goal.
Mm-hmm.
Hobbit kind of based. He would be based 15 years ago.
So you
right?
You want to just let him like, oh, my bad, I'm just a little guy, sorry, and that's what you're okay with that?
Are we talking about in the real world, or are we like, the thing is I don't know if you're talking about stuff that is likely to happen. I think it is very unlikely that we could remove more than I'll give you 5. I would say maybe we can remove 5 senators from office.
Once you remove 5 senators, let's say you remove 5. Let's say that gets you 2 extra Dem senators. Now you have more chances to get even more out, right?
I don't personally. I don't think so. And so I guess my next question would be: is if you're removing these people for supporting Trump, right? That's your main reason for wanting to remove them.
Yep.
Sure. And their
so
actions and support, like, not just supporting them, but the actions that they've taken and like voting with his shit and whatever. Yeah.
We like Hobbit either way, though. Objection, speculation.
Okay, so what if somebody like Carrie Lake is then up for election and they win that election? This is a person that's a diehard Trump supporter but never held office.
What do you think I'm going to say?
Yeah, true.
That's what
Oh my goodness.
Yo, thank you so much, Big, for the 1 gifted Foodshops membership. Thank you so much on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm asking you.
The second she's about to get sworn. The second she gets sworn in, boom, doing impeachment on her. Get the fuck out.
Do you not see any issue with what you're talking about?
Yeah, I could foresee many issues that could happen.
Okay. Do you think that those issues are going to put us in a better spot than we're at right now, or a worse spot?
Better spot how?
Honestly, the funniest E-Court.
For what?
Like, let's say Newsom wins in 2028. We have a 60-seat Senate.
Okay.
And and you are now what little power Republicans have or representation that Republicans have, you start going after them in a way that has never happened before. What do you think that's going to put as far as like Trump is obviously causing a lot of issues. Do you think that it is going to put us in a better spot to start the
Okay, if Zip Zip was a good debater, okay? Oh my god, Zip Zip, please make the correct argument. I'm begging you. Okay, okay, I know. I'm just talking to past Zip Zip right now, okay? I'm talking to past Zip Zip. But this is my first time watching, so I have no idea what he's gonna say, alright? The argument should be it is fine to set precedents for behaviors because the Republicans have been doing that the entire time. The Republicans simply do not wait for Democrats to do something first before acting upon it. They just simply do it and they invent the reasoning along the way. Sometimes they'll do the action and then retroactively invent the reasoning. They play by different rules. So therefore, we should also play by the same rules that they are playing by, right? We should be acting first because otherwise we are behind. There is a first mover's advantage when it comes to passing policies and passing action first. And Republicans, because they do everything first, they will always have the first mover's advantage, and that's bad for us. Okay, Zip Zip. The president is already set with the 14th Amendment and the barring of office of Confederate leaders after the Civil War, by the way. Haha, good one, good meme. True! Okay. Alright. Zip Zip. Spin the wheel! Okay, sorry.
fights in the Senate or whatever it might be?
Yes. Because
Okay,
we just saw a blue
why?
wave a few weeks ago in the insane elections. There's going to be another blue wave for midterms.
I
Or
agree.
at least live under the hypothetical that there is a massive blue wave in the midterms.
Okay, and I don't disagree
Look how they
with
mock violence,
pushing
I
for
guess.
people to vote for Democrats. What I'm asking you is,
but there's an
you're
insane blue wave in 2026 and another insane blue wave in 2028, and you have 60 or more Dems in office, and then however many in House of Representatives. Why would you not?
Because I'm curious, could Trump go too far? Let's say Trump tomorrow orders the assassination of 5 senators or congressmen or whatever. Could Trump ever go too far, or is your answer always the same on this?
Well,
watch. I know exactly what's going to happen, okay? I am a prediction god, okay? Watch me. Hobbitfollower will say, nah, I would hit my limit. If Trump ordered the execution of 5 senators, yeah, I would hit my limit. Yeah, and then I would say, yeah, it's time to rebel. It's time to do some crazy shit, okay? Watch me.
I think that this is where, like, every time I try to have these conversations, people think that I'm, like, trying to, like, let Trump go on things. That's like a super crazy scenario that he should be held accountable
Answer the question, motherfucker.
for.
You already
like,
answer the question.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like,
for
let's say that he does this, but like he doesn't get impeached by the current Republican Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that then we should never let any of these people hold office again, or?
I think. Wait, so you're saying Trump assassinates 5 people,
Or he orders it.
and it goes far enough into an impeachment to where now Republicans are saying, actually, that's not a bad thing.
Or
And
they're just
so
saying they would
all
never
of
say
them-
that. They would say we don't have the authority to impeach.
I hate how, dude, I actually actively hate how Hobbitfollower is trying to introduce more nuance into the situation. The fact that he's not outright saying, yeah, that would go too far, I would prevent any Republican from holding office ever again. The fact that he is even hesitating. Bro, if Trump assassinated 5 Democratic fucking senators, you are still not willing. Bro, we are cooked. Guys, we are cooked. We are actually so fucking cooked. Dude, I can't do this. Dude, I can't. I'm not sure if I can do this anymore. Oh my god. I'm just not sure. Dude, I can't do it. I can't do it. 5 senators.
And we don't think it's impeachable. We think it was within his legal authority. Should be challenged to the Supreme Court. They would say something else.
Right
But.
there.
Okay, I would
Thank
say
you,
that you
Chang.
have an exceptional reason to go about what it is that you're talking about for simple support of what Trump, or I guess
Once I get that direct deposit, I'm gifting so many subs, so I'm looking forward to that day, okay? Dude, okay, hold on, guys, please. Don't spoil me, don't spoil me. He's gonna... Dude, listen. Hobbit is gonna give the right answer, okay? He's gonna give the objectively correct answer. Okay, here we go.
This lack of pushback is what a majority of Congress is doing.
So then what is the...
So
I
would
guess
say-
how far are we from that point? Because when I look at like him bragging about openly
Yeah.
like murdering Venezuelans or like making death threats right now about how people should be tried and hung for treason, or like this is the type of stuff, the fabricated indictments from a bullshit prosecutor against his political enemies from 10 years ago. Like these are all things that in my mind have pushed us very, very, very close to that line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that, but what I'm saying is that is very different than Trump ordering the assassination of people. You have a...
I think it's a lot closer to Trump ordering the assassination. I think it's closer to Trump ordering the assassination of people than anything Biden did. Like I think if you have a president who's ordering assassinations and you... Well, no.
What? Guys, I'm not fucking kidding right now. I'm at my fucking limit right now. How? Okay. Oh my god. Why is he avoiding answering this question? Is Hobbitfollower an aider and abettor of political assassinations against Democratic senators? I have to know this. I have to know whether or not... I'm sorry. I have to know whether or not Hobbitfollower is like an actual enabler of political assassinations against Democratic senators. I have to know this right fucking now, okay? Because all of this fucking caveating and adding additional details and deflecting from the... Bro, I can't do this. I just don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I can't
saying
do
if you have
this.
a president that's ordering assassinations, you have Joe Biden, and then you have Donald Trump, that if we were to put Donald Trump on a scale, he's way closer to the president ordering assassinations than he is to Joe Biden.
Also, just to be clear on what's being talked
Okay.
about, Trump is ordering assassinations, right?
Stop. No, stop. Of domestic U.S. citizens, we're talking about U.S. citizens, yeah.
Yeah, you mean a politician, yeah.
Oh my god.
What about Obama, Destiny?
I don't disagree with you that Trump is bad. What
I
I'm
didn't say
saying
Trump-
is...
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude, I can't.
It's bad. I'm
I'm not
saying
gonna
that I just don't know what the line is, because like Ezra Klein made his video, because everybody's been wondering like what's the line, and Ezra Klein made his video saying like the time has come or the crisis is here like 7 months ago, I think. But it seems like we're just letting it go further and further and further and further. And I don't know when the time actually comes, if he does order a political assassination, I don't know if anybody's going to be like pushing back on it, because again, it's not going to be like he assassinated opponents. It's going to be like, well, he has the lawful authority to command the military to engage in these things, and Obama assassinated a U.S. citizen overseas, and so that should be challenged in the
Supreme
courts.
Court already literally let him, literally implicitly said that he's allowed to do that
No,
Well, maybe.
dude,
by refusing
I
to address the hypothetical in the fucking immunity thing, right? Like that was literally the hypothetical presented, and they just ignored that in their fucking opinion.
Sure, I just don't know. I guess you understand that like it feels bad that on our side, like the best and brightest that the conservatives have to offer, Ben Shapiro says that the turning point for Obama was him saying,
Guys, no, there's just no way. Guys, please, I'm not limited. I don't think I can do this. I can't do this anymore. Bro. Oh my god, Hassan was right, dude. Streaming really is the hardest
that
job.
Trayvon Martin looks like us, like black people, and that the Cambridge
just-
police.
Dude, you guys better donate, okay? You guys better fucking donate. This is actually torture. I'm forced to sit here and watch
They're
this.
morally not... They're lesser. Like, they don't have the same morals that we do. So, but...
No, I can't. No, guys, I can't. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Every word that he says is making me crash out. Okay.
I
let's do
watch
this.
a lot of senators talk about different things, and I think that a reason why a majority of Republicans aren't pushing back on Trump is because of the way that they can fall back on different things. Like the reason that people didn't push back against Comey is because like people that have any idea of what is going on know that that's probably not going to go anywhere. So why not lose political capital amongst your base and just let it happen when you know that the end result is going to be what it was?
Yeah, but can you think of any other time in life or any other circumstances in life where you would share a leadership role with somebody who doesn't have the same moral accountability that you do? Because I feel like
not. I mean,
because I feel like in every area in life, if that were to be the case, you would demote that person. Like you would never co-lead a thing where your co-leader can fuck up and make mistakes, but you both get paid the same, have the same role. Yeah.
Okay, let's just take the worst Republican senator ever, whoever it is.
Mhm.
Okay, the person that backs Trump the most and does all of the things, says that, yeah, Comey should be prosecuted. He supports every single thing
Sure.
that Trump does. Okay. What if that person says at the end of it all, Trump keels over from a heart attack, and that day he's like, oh, thank God Trump is gone. I was worried about speaking out against him because my family was going to be killed. Because I've already any minor pushback that I've even said where, oh, well, he didn't really mean that. my family got death threats and all these kind of things, so I was afraid to stand out against them. Like, what do you say to those people? Because it's not an unrealistic thing that like a lot of these people are probably honestly scared of the consequences, and I know that they should rise to the occasion. Like that's literally what they're supposed to be doing. They talk about like the founding fathers and all these kind of things.
I understand what you're saying.
There's a
But
really
then,
easy answer.
the answer is
you can't just say I was just following orders.
No.
That's the answer.
Well, so the answer is that that's fine. I accept that. I understand that. But you can't hold office again. I can't trust you, right? If you're telling me that some amount of threat or pressure was able to compromise your decision-making ability, and when America needed you most, you were unable to rise to the occasion, then that's fine. I understand that. I'm not saying you should go to jail, but you're never holding office again. You're not even allowed to, because this is your constitutional duty. How could you ever trust a person like that? This is like a significant other saying, "Oh, I only cheated on you because I got really drunk, but I'm still going to keep drinking." It's like, okay, that's fine, but like we're breaking up. Like I can't. Why would I trust you to go drinking again if that was your excuse for cheating on me? Like I can't do it. How would you ever trust somebody like that in office again? Why should that person be allowed to hold office again?
I gotta be a black woman. Sorry. Just make sure I'm like cosplaying.
They felt really bad, Destiny.
What?
Well,
They felt really bad.
Oh.
Well, no, it's just.
What?
I just don't think that you have the political capital to do what it
This
is
is a
that you're
different
wanting
argument, and
to
I agree
do.
with you here. This is a different argument, though. But politically, I don't think it's necessarily possible. But I mean, I would.
Well, then okay. If we're gonna just say then those people shouldn't be able to hold office. I'll just go with every single hypothetical that you guys.
Why is it that it took tooth and nail? It took tooth and nail to pull that, to extract that from him. It shouldn't take tooth and nail to extract that from him, dude. It shouldn't take tooth. Bro, I just can't believe this is where we're at. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Guys, I don't think there's only so much I can handle. There's so much I can handle, and I cannot handle any of it right now. Holy shit, dude, we are so fucking cooked. I can't believe that this person who is supposed to be on our side, who follows politics, he says, is not being able to. I'm just not sure if I can. Bro, I get it. I understand now. I understand why people give up on politics. Okay. Oh my god. I understand what Steven was saying. Dude, I can't do this. This is too depressing. Like I actually think this is really
I
depressing.
understand. But it's not my question, Zip. That's the thing is I'm trying to live in the world that is realistic of what it is that we are actually going to be able to accomplish.
Fuck, and the fucking Hutch condescension too. Like this is a Hutch thing where he says like, "Oh well, I live in the realistic world. I live in the world where things are being realistic when I am trying to be realistic about things." Motherfucker, we are too. What are you saying about us? Because we say that about you. Okay, so cut it. Cut it with the fucking passive aggression. Cut it with a condescension, okay? Cut that shit out. Okay, fuck you. Okay, frankly, fuck you.
Because
Okay,
I don't want to waste my fucking time in some dreamland where these people are never going to hold office again. And
that's the difference. Hobbitfollower follows politics. He doesn't practice it. Yeah, like a fucking sports.
I want to talk about what are we going to do when Trump does
crash out? No, I'm going to have a crash out over Hobbitfollower's crash out, okay?
And these people say, "Oh man, I wanted to speak out against him, but I was afraid."
He's right.
What are we going to say in that
He's
point?
Right.
We can't say, "Oh well, you're never going to hold office again." We don't have the political capital to do it. So why would we talk about it?
I don't know if you.
That's what I'm saying. We can dance amongst the fairies.
One, I don't know if we would have the political capital. I don't really know. I don't know if anybody would have the capital. But at the very least, I would push on this to plant the seeds, because if it comes up again in the future, I want the idea to already be there. So rather than us having a novel conversation, so then I would push for it right now. And then if it's not enough and people don't want to do whatever, that's fine. But if this comes up again, they're like, "Well, last time we talked about this and people weren't as warm to it, but it seems like it's coming up again, and maybe we should actually consider this." So I would push on it early and hopefully plant the seeds, and if it comes up again, then it would be grown a bit and people would be more receptive to it.
And I agree with you on that.
But keep in mind that when Trump ran initially, Trump was a 1% candidate, right? This guy was a literal joke. Nobody thought he'd get anywhere, and he took over the whole Republican Party, right?
Sure.
So the answer, Hobbitfollower, in 2028, when great leader.
Honestly, IRA is worse than Hutch? No, I don't think I agree with that. Wait, what? How? Wait, how is IRA worse than Hutch? IRA, I feel like IRA is much better than Hutch, because IRA at least cheers on Steven. Hutch avoids Steven like the plague. Like he thinks that Steven is the plague bringer.
Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris or whoever it is. Let's say there's 55 Dem senators and they're pushing
they should push for reforms that hinder.
Like Hutch legitimately thinks Destiny is like the world gorger, eater eater of souls, the world gorger. Like that's literally what Hutch thinks Destiny is right now. That's how radioactive he thinks Destiny is. Every single Destiny mention, it's like mentioning Lord Voldemort. He's like, he starts getting a little bit agitated. He's like, he has like a little bit of a muscle convulsion. It's the most cuck shit I've ever seen.
Yeah. Besides, okay, so they're pushing for that, and also they say, and also you should start impeaching all these MAGA senators and congresspeople. You're gonna say, yeah, you should push for that, or are you gonna say, no? What if they feel really bad now?
They can push for whatever it is that they want to push for, and that's fine. But just I do not believe that the political capital will be there, so I don't see any reason. We can talk about it all we want. And we can say, hey, you know, Gavin Newsom can get up and have a speech about like holding people accountable for their inaction, and that's fine. But
yeah, and you know who else is audience captured? Hitler. And
but what are we going to do when that doesn't have popularity?
Yes, I'm being a little bit facetious.
Okay,
like why?
But we're talking about this also.
Okay, but
facetious. Facetious.
Again, I think that to use your example of bringing stuff in case it rains is fine, but you're not going to be putting all of your rain gear into your camping equipment. That's just not what you're going to do. You're going to be covering all the things that you know that you can accomplish while you're there. And so we can push for political reforms, and we should. We should push for various things that have caused the issues that we're seeing right now. Whether it's reforms to, you know, how our voting works in the House to where people don't have to do it. Like, I don't know if people know how exceptional the discharge petition was for the Epstein stuff, but like that is an exceptional thing that happened. And so, but should we have a system where people can have something that maybe a majority of people would vote for, but they're not willing to go through these steps like a discharge petition to get it to the floor? Should the leader of the House of Representatives have as much power over bills being brought to the floor? You know, we can talk about the different things that could have stopped or changed or done these things. Like maybe we pass a law that says that you can't say that, you know, the next 9 months is one day on the calendar, like to avoid having to talk about Trump's tariffs. Like that's realistic things to be talking about and things that we should be talking about. Do you agree that that is probably a more important thing to talk about?
No, I disagree. I think the focus on rules and laws. I think the focus on rules and laws is irrelevant. I think the rules and laws are in place. I think everybody knows how to navigate these things appropriately. I don't think you can craft a rule system for rule breakers. I don't think that matters at all. I think the issue is the thing that I said before that I got mega canceled for. So
oh my god, I'm coming. Please, Steven, you gotta destroy this guy. Please. I don't care if he manages your subreddit. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's a very good manager of the subreddit, okay? I'm sure he's a very good. But this guy knows nothing about politics, and it shows. It shows that he knows nothing about politics, all right? Bro, dude, he is stupid, okay? I'm sorry. Okay, so listen, Hobbit, I love you, okay? Listen, you probably love watching my content, all right? But listen to me, okay? You are retarded, okay? Hope that helps. Dude, bro, we can't do this. We just can't do this anymore, okay? You have just lowered my lifespan by like 5 years, okay? At the very least, okay? We can't do this. Dude, oh my god. Hobbit, listen to me, okay? You are the bane of my existence right now, okay? On
be very careful how I phrase this.
You're welcome.
The problem is that when Republicans are operating in their legal and extra legal areas, they are operating fearlessly with the understanding that no matter how crazy they are, no matter what they do, no matter what road they go down, the Democrats will always be there to walk them out of the scary forest at the end, back into the sunlight, where they can figure out their next devious little plot. Where every single time we have some issue come up, it's like we're in Rurouni Kenshin, where the good guy refuses to finish off the bad guy, or Batman, where the Republican Party keeps getting sent back to Arkham Asylum over and over and over again, and then they break out, and then we have another season of the wacky Republican antics, and there's just no reason for them to change their behavior.
Wasn't there something that Batman has said? Hold on, let me just play
when
this.
They're just going to do it over and over and over and over again with absolutely no consequences. And
I could say it a million times, but I don't know how to get across that there's a certain point in anything that you deal with in life that you look at what is probably going to happen and you plan for that, and you put
Foodshops, he's so retarded. You have to create the political capital for those to become reality. It's the difference between trying to predict the future versus trying to shape it. Exactly.
All of your energy into that, and you put all of your expectations into that. So why would you?
By letting you live.
Well, no, but it's just like we're having this conversation, and you're pushing me on stuff, and then I ask you what the percentage likelihood is of your scenario that you're pushing for people to put all their eggs in that basket, and you're like, well, I don't know.
I'm not saying to put all your eggs in that basket. When did I say that?
Yeah, I would say the chance of what I want to happen is probably like fucking 5%, maybe less than 10% for sure. Yeah, I already acknowledge that.
But so
okay,
doesn't matter.
But that's what.
Aim high.
Sure, but what are you gonna do otherwise?
govern as normal. Do whatever you want to do. Carry
Yep.
on.
Like like this conversation is like for whatever whatever the fuck else this conversation is, like it's about political realities, right? Like
Notice how Republicans will never have this reaction. Unk is unironically trying to own the libs right now. Sorry. Unk right now is trying to defend the Republicans, the actual equivalent of the Nazis right now, to own the leftists. That's what's going on, okay?
if you don't have the amount of Democratic senators you need to do it, you don't get to just impeach all the Republicans. If you don't have as many so if we only have fucking 49 Democratic senators or 50 or whatever, you can't do what I'm suggesting. So then what you do, you just do what you can.
And
right?
That is the
All I'm gonna say to Hobbitfollower is Green FM.
entire point of what it is that I'm saying is that people are not living in reality. People are wanting vengeance against Republican voters. They're wanting vengeance against the administration, and they should. Okay, they should want those things.
Yeah.
But people in the vast majority of the people that I interact with, again, this is all centered around conversations that I have had on the subreddit with people that I believe are more knowledgeable about politics than anybody off the street. You guys are in the world where, like Destiny said, it's a 5% chance, and he can live with it being in the 95%, whereas other people I don't feel like can. And so when a majority of our energy is put on these things instead of something that is more realistic and what we should be expecting, and you get people to believe in the things that we should be expecting, the things that we should push for, and we can aim for the stars, and someday you'll be a track star, and that's why we're going to go out running when we're in junior high, and like all these kind of things. But like a parent doesn't set their child up for them to become an NFL legend.
Why can't we aim high? Trump literally set them up to say that they won the election in 2020 all the way up to it, and then even after.
Hobbitfollower is like Kobe from the moon trying to score a shot. And he's basically saying, yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's technically possible. Yeah, of course, motherfucker. It's technically possible, I guess.
More shall gather. More shall enter the fray.
Hey, 6 more to make it a year. Let's go. Also, Destiny thinks turkeys are pigeons. That's funny as fuck. You're gonna be a track star girl? Based. Yo, Omni Universe, okay? Thank you so much for the tier 3. Thank you so much, okay? Thanks for your continued support. I appreciate that.
And they still held on to their hope. They said they were going to win 65.
I'm glad I still have the faith of the viewers, okay? Thank you. On my loyal community.
Court cases. They said the Kraken was going to come through. People thought that Q was going to show up with Elvis Presley and Reagan and JFK at a gas station, and that people thought.
And they didn't do any of those things, and they live in delusion. And what I'm saying is that you're setting people up to live.
What are you taught, bro? Dude, what is this? Dude, nah, bro. This this ninja is eating beans.
In delusion.
I don't know how.
Is what I feel like is happening.
Okay. I mean, that would be possible if I was saying there's like a high chance. I'm just saying we should push for accountability. I think it's fine. If people have other accountability mechanisms, I'm okay with that too. But it can't
we should push for accountability. But people that think that we should strip federal funding from Republican voters that voted against their own interests, like these kind of things are just things that we shouldn't even humor.
Well, Trump has already done that though, hasn't he? Hasn't Trump already blocked FEMA funding for states that he doesn't like? Yes. Hasn't Trump already attacked Mamdani, saying that he would try to withhold federal funds from New York City because he doesn't like Mamdani?
Yeah, but again, we're morally better than these people. We're not going to strip funding for Medicaid from Wyoming.
I submit as a priori, you cannot co-govern with people that don't have the same level of moral agency as you. Those people should be stripped of their vote, maybe citizenship, and put on an island somewhere. You can't.
Bro, I was waiting for that to come in. Destiny just pulled they don't have the same moral agency. They don't have the same moral agency as the rest of us. Do it. Every single road, every choice you make is an illusion, okay? Everything leads back to veganism, okay? Every road leads back to a vegan debate, okay? Because at the end of the day, no matter, the more you try to resist the vegan debate, the more the vegan debate finds you, okay? The snail at the end of the universe that you can't touch, otherwise you'll die, that snail is a vegan debate, okay? All right? Whenever you try to escape, go to a meat slaughter factory, whenever you turn and twist your corner on the deathbed, There will always be a vegan debate waiting for you at the end of the road of life. Okay? Absolute cinema. Okay?
Operate that way. The American democratic system is built around the
Yo, cats are okay. Thank you so much for your tier 2 sub. Thank you for your continued
core
support.
concept that one person is one vote and all of us
Lots of
have
people
shared
resubbing.
agency and
Thank
shared
you.
responsibility for governance. It cannot be that half don't have that responsibility. That's ungovernable, I think.
Photos of
It's also very easy to do that one. Is just, hey, if
Okay.
there's a government bill that gives a benefit to some people, if your senator doesn't vote a yes on it, then you don't get that. Simple as.
Yeah, but sure, that's a way to hold people accountable for what it is that they're doing. But it's not some way that, like, I don't think that the answer to Trump holding FEMA funding is for us to do something equivalent to that in a way that is, whether it's like extrajudicial or however it is that we go about doing it, isn't the way to.
That's not the same thing, though, right? If Democrats were to do it to equivalence for that, that wouldn't be the same as what Trump's doing. Because Trump's doing it because they shit on him. Democrats would be doing it because they voted to destroy the fucking country. It's not.
Did they vote to they didn't vote to destroy. That goes back to what I
If you
said
voted for
very
Trump in
early on.
2024, you voted for the Jan 6 guy.
No, yes, you voted for the Jan 6 guy. Did you vote for everything that Trump is doing right now? Did you think when you were putting in your ballot that he was going to do everything that he is doing right now?
And I'll say again what I said when you asked before: ignorance is not an excuse. You don't just get to, oh well, I didn't know though.
Can you point me to the speech?
People were
Trump
telling
said
you.
that
Everyone was
they're
telling
going
you.
to
You
mask
should
up
know.
all of ICE and they're going to go in unmarked vehicles and they're going to pull any brown person off to the street.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if you remember Hobbitfollower. That's what every Democrat was telling these people back in 2024. That's what Kamala Harris was telling people on her campaign. Everybody knew that this was going to happen. None of this is fucking surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
No one's
It is
putting
not
a gun to
surprising. It is
these
not.
fucking retard Republicans' heads and telling them that they need to fucking vote for Trump. They chose to vote for Trump. If it was because of ignorance, then they're retarded.
Well,
It doesn't excuse it.
I don't know. I guess I don't. I understand everything that you guys are saying, and I agree, and I know exactly how you.
Peace be upon Kamala Harris, okay? Kamala Harris, PBUH, okay? We ignored the words of the prophet. The prophet spoke, and the people did not listen. But only when we did to suffer the consequences, only when we suffered the consequences, did finally our bones crack, our flesh stripped, did our bodies listened to the consequences of the now. Kamala Harris, PBUH, okay? We're going to read the Hadith, aka her
Get
book.
there and everything, but in the real world, people don't watch Trump's speeches. People don't watch Kamala going against Trump. A lot of people didn't watch the debate. There's all of these different things that they hear these snippets or whatever it is, or they go onto a campaign website or they read a brochure.
Then maybe they shouldn't have voted if they didn't know any of these things.
All right.
I fucking hate when Vitar say I agree with everything you're saying, but like no motherfucker, you don't pretend to agree with me when you're supporting the opposite. It's less like that. They constantly try to paint it as something like, well, don't we agree on 95% of the issues? Yeah, motherfucker, and we're not debating on 95% of the issues right now, motherfucker. We're debating on the 5% that we disagree, right? Yeah, of course we're not debating on 95% of the fucking issues. Yes, that's where we agree. Yes, motherfucker, we're disagreeing on the 95%. On the 5% of the issue, right? But that 5% margin is a larger margin than Kamala Harris would have won by. And that is all the difference in the world to me.
Is that a crazy thing to say? Hey, maybe if you didn't know shit about the fucking consequences of your actions, maybe you shouldn't have taken that action.
No, because I'm telling you that I don't know. There's no way that you get to the position that you're at where you think that, oh well, maybe they shouldn't have just done this, and then that can just be the end of it. You're telling people that they shouldn't vote if they're not knowledgeable on topics.
If you're not informed, yeah. If you're uninformed, you shouldn't.
And
vote.
most people shouldn't vote for fucking Democrats that vote for Democrats because maybe they're voting for them for some other nebulous
most
reason.
Most people shouldn't vote. Okay, and do you think I'm going to disagree? Yeah, most people shouldn't vote. Lucky for me though, if you got rid of all the uninformed voters, Democrats would always win. So, you know.
They would.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know where I can go with this. I guess my
Dude, to quote Davy Jones, okay, fate is a cruel mystery.
whole point
Sorry.
is that I think as much as we want to talk about what that shoot for the stars scenario, we should also be talking about how we can hold people accountable, what we should be doing politically to,
I hate these fuckers who deny moral agency to voters. Yeah.
get people out of office that did support Trump or, stood by while these things are happening. We have 3 more years of this, and the idea that we're just going to not, like these are things that people should be campaigning on in 2026 and then 2028. And when you're putting out, the equivalent of like Pizza Hut in the school cafeteria for your ideas, like it's great.
Wait, what?
But you're also putting expectations really, really high for people on things that probably aren't going to happen. And so
What did he say?
I guess I just
don't get
don't
what he just
see
said.
the point in putting so much effort into those things that aren't going to happen.
The proposal is very simple, okay? Proposal is very simple, okay? I'll give this, okay? If you are running for Senate in 2026, your proposal should be, hey, if there is enough of a majority to impeach every fucking Republican that's supporting this shit, then you do it. That's what they should fucking run on. If there's enough people, you do it. And this does happen. If where presidents will run, and if this bill comes across my desk, I will sign it. That's what you should do for senators. Hey, if the fucking impeachment vote was happening to get rid of fucking John Thune, would you do it? And you better answer yes. That's what I think.
How do we get to pizza?
Okay. I mean,
And that's it. Maybe it doesn't happen, but everybody should be prepared for if it happens. Because what I wouldn't want, Hobbit, is for there to be 55 or 60 Democrats in the fucking Senate, and then a bunch of them are like fucking John Fettermans and don't want to do shit. That's worst case scenario, right? Not worst case, but
yeah, I don't know how feasible it is, and so just I guess just how my mind works, I don't humor that kind of stuff that much because it doesn't make any sense for me to do that. And so we can say that, hey, we need to hold these people accountable, and what if you want to run on impeaching senators? It just I don't know. It's just one of those situations where we're talking about a hypothetical situation, and for some reason everything that you have has like plot armor, and that we should push for it. And I agree that these people need to have these things.
Well, I think the frustration is that
some schools did school elections when students were running the top speech was when I'm president, there will be pizza for lunch every day. Oh yeah, like people always did that.
You're accusing us of having hypothetical plot armor, but Republicans have real life plot armor, and that's the frustration. Like again, in the real world, you do not co-lead.
Bro, Trump, we need to fight harder, okay? Trump has God's armor, okay? It is God's plan for Trump to win, okay? This motherfucker somehow survived one of the most ridiculous assassination attempts of all time. Okay? This motherfucker is protected by God himself, okay? We are fighting against God. Do you know what's actually happening in real life? It's a Final Fantasy campaign, okay? We are actually doing a Final Fantasy campaign, and we have to fight against God, okay? Because right now God has willed history to go this route, okay? The only way to fight back is if we fight God at the end of this. We have to kill God. Okay?
Somebody who doesn't have the same level of agency and accountability as you. That person's just kicked out of the leadership position, full stop. You don't participate with them because they can't. Because if somebody's not capable of having responsibility for their decisions or making the same decisions that you can, then they don't get to partake at the same level that you do. That's how it is in every single sector of society.
What's your
Whether you're talking age,
class?
CEO versus manager versus supervisor versus employee, whether you're talking about somebody with certain privileges like being able to drive or not.
Oh, I liked Red Mage from 14.
You don't co-govern. You don't co-lead with somebody with less agency and less responsibility as you. But for some reason, for governance, that's supposed to be different. And that's just an unacceptable scenario. But for some reason, they have the plot armor in real life to allow them to get away with that.
So that's why I asked you, when you have people that are starting to turn on Trump and actively speak out against him, so right now we need...
Marjorie Taylor Greene. One. That's one.
It doesn't matter, even if all of them do. It doesn't matter, even if all of them do. Even if all of them do. What about it? It's too late now. You missed the time to be moral.
Frolin Nizich. All the Final Fantasy games are just Nizich. Okay? That's it.
That's how it works. I mean, again, and conservatives are the ones that are the toughest on this fucking, morality character shit. But at some point, you lose.
Isn't I? You know what? Expedition 33. Okay, thank you. All right. For those who come after, okay. I'm not talking about the sexual kind of cum. Okay. I'm talking about the electoral kind of cum. Okay. Do not come. Do not come. I'm gonna come. Whoa. Hey. What are you doing? standing there thinking about American politics. We got to go and kill the paintress. Okay,
Is the
We gotta
ability
do that.
like to
You have to
take
make
the
it
moral
happen.
action. You can take a more moral action, but you're already squarely in the like completely fucked up realm.
But that's what I'm saying is that we should be pushing for people to take the moral action, and then whatever
level
dream
red
scenario you guys want to have,
nation
you can have that.
It's not about a dream scenario, but like if
like,
somebody's in the middle of raping somebody and you're like, okay, well, like, can you please stop raping them? And you're like, okay, well,
Oh, to be fair, I got this example from somewhere else, from Steven, I think. So like I was like, did I fucking predict
stop. I
this?
won't
No,
finish. I'll
didn't.
half rape them,
I
but you're not
didn't.
gonna hold me accountable for half raping them, right? Like, would you say yes in that circumstance? Because that's basically what we're saying we have to do.
obviously, I would not say that somebody can get away with half rape.
Okay, why half rape of the country?
I am an avid half rape againster.
Yeah, but
half
what's the
rape in
difference between that?
America.
What's the difference between that and what we're talking about right now with the country?
Because again, I think that people are in a situation where they feel like whatever is bringing them.
No, there is a really good there. Okay, Wilder, that's crazy. But anyway, there is a really good analogy to this, right? Isn't January 6th the raping of the Constitution? Isn't January 6th a raping of like the democratic process? Like you wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, I think I'm okay with half. I'm okay with half of January 6th, right?" Like what would you call that? January 3rd? Moron. Anyway, like you wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, I'm okay with half the January 6th," right? Yeah. Like he doesn't understand that we've gone far beyond whether it's feasible or not. It's about setting a new standard. Yeah, exactly.
To not say anything, whether it's out of fear or, just, I don't know, being just a dipshit that allows this stuff to happen. I think that if at a certain point they say, okay, this can't continue, that,
Here's what I would say. I would actually, I would actually just definitionally win this debate, because what I would say is the only genuine way to show that you've understood the consequences of everything you've done is to abdicate all future office. That would be the only way to do it. Is if a person is saying, listen, here are all the reasons why I did all these bad things, that has to be paired with that. And this is why I'm just not the man for the
Constitution,
job.
sure.
If you're not willing to say the second thing, then you don't mean the first thing. That's what I would say.
And that's what happens. And that's where everybody that's spoken out against Trump stops running for office.
But you're cool
And so
with
you might,
they speak out against Trump, but they stay in office.
I never, do you think that I'm cool with it?
No, when he
Do you
says cool,
really
he
think
means
that-
no
You're really not.
I mean, it does sound like you're cool with it, MAGA Republican Hobbitfollower.
On Democrats to try to impeach him.
No, I'm saying that I don't think that it's going to
Destroyed.
happen. So why would I humor the situation? If it happens and they have the majorities and we get all these things, then sure, go ahead and push for it.
The rule of law means nothing if there's no one trying to enforce it. Yeah.
That's all. No, you've vouched for it before.
Like what better are you from Hassan, who argues that like stealing shit from stores is like a form of reparations for Black people, right?
Hey, we're looping hard. Give me your final thoughts, both.
Yes,
One
we
for
are.
people.
We are. Okay. Regardless, in this situation, I do believe that people need to understand that there is different levels of responsibility that people have in their support for Trump. I do agree that people that are in Congress that are abdicating their responsibility should be held accountable for it. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know what we can do that is realistic. And if
Dude, like, do you notice how weak this answer is? Oh, there's nothing we can do. Oh, I don't know what we could do possibly to help this situation. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I have any answers for this. Like, bro, these are all like really weak sauce answers, right? Like, bro, we can't get here and then like just not have. You argued so much, like you argued so fervently, only to give us, yeah, I don't see anything is gonna happen in the end. Really? Really, Ninja? You argued so much just to say that there is no options? What are you on about? You sound insane. You sound like an insane person, okay?
the best that we can do is to just hammer these people in elections and get them out of office that way, then that's fine. I think that people in
So stupid.
in
Oh my god.
society need to understand that most people aren't doing that. You know, they're not actively encouraging Trump to continue what it is that he's doing, and they're just citizens. They can't change anything. Just as much as we think that they should speak out.
Wait, hold on. Notice the way that Hobbitfollower is speaking right now. Do you notice how he calls everything else the black pill? But then he sounds the most black pilled? Am I the only one? The black pill thing has to be a projection, right? Because they're trying to do the reversal thing. They're trying to do the Republican reversal thing where they just accuse everybody of everything that they're practicing, right? Because to me, at the very least, I'm not advocating for the black pill in any way whatsoever. I'm saying that we need to change in tactics because there is hope in making a new decision, right? I'm saying that there is hope in making a new decision. But then, meanwhile, Hobbitfollower is unironically advocating for, like, what? Abjudicating? Subjugating yourself? What? How is it that you are the one that doesn't sound black-pilled? What the fuck? Am I missing something here? Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this entire thing is super
against this
bad
stuff
faith, but
like we
whatever.
do. When they start to speak out, that's good. That's the amount of power that they have. We can't expect people that voted for Trump to all of a sudden go and take ICE down by themselves. It's just not a realistic thing that's going to happen. And at the end of all of this, we need to be able to live side by
Like, do you notice how the way that even he speaks is very defeatist? You can't tell me that we are being defeatist, right? You sound more defeatist than the rest of us combined, right? What?
side with people and
Sure, that's fine.
let them
I
say,
okay.
I fucked up.
Sure, I can take that. That's fine. But that has to be paired with an absolute and a total repeal of the Second Amendment then. And I don't ever want to hear a single one of these people talk about standing up to the government using firearms ever again. They can't have both positions.
Oh, but
That's-
Destiny,
so if you want to pair
stop
with that,
talking about
if you want to
that.
pair
You
with
can never
that, then
do
that's
constitutional
fine.
amendment.
But I can't hear the blood refreshing the Tree of Liberty and all of these unbelievably LARPy positions if they can't say like, hey, maybe it's not okay for masked men to jump out of cars and throw people into the backs of them because they're brown. You don't get to have it all.
What,
That
but
is
what do
just-
you mean by that? You think that these people should be...
Yeah, you don't get guns. You don't have agency. When you don't want the responsibility for your actions because you don't have the agency to make the right choice, then you lose your privileges.
But again, you're not doing it as well. So I don't want to Fed post and say a bunch of shit, but neither are you.
No matter my what.
So
I'm
that's
speaking
the
out against the
thing.
administration. I'm not saying if you go and kill people. I'm just saying if you don't have the courage to change the way you vote.
No, that's what I'm saying. What if these people do?
They
and
did it.
don't
They voted for
support
Trump a
this
second
stuff? Like,
time. A third time.
I understand.
Okay, see, I was wondering how Destiny was like holding back the entire time. Like, I was just like wondering, like, dude, how is he able to be so calm? How is he able to be so calm? Like, there's no way. Like, I would fucking lose it, dude. Like, I would actually just fucking lose it. The black pill can't be. We've lost so much hope. We won't just excise every Republican. No, the black pill isn't just the real black pill is sit around, do nothing, wait for the Republicans to mess up, and continue what we've been doing for the last 10 years. That's the real black pill. Okay? The black pill can't just be oh yeah, we're gonna wait for the Republicans to mess up so then we can point out their hypocrisy for the 500th time. What are you talking about?
And I understand that they did that. What I'm saying is that the normal citizenry doesn't have much power. We have the power to protest things, and the people that do turn against Trump or say that what he's doing is wrong, like that is the acceptable thing for a citizen.
Sure. Okay.
We
Here,
should hold
Hobbit,
people
this is your job. Okay. I want you to find me some average Trump voters and bring them on, and I'll chat with them. Okay. I'm just curious how they would respond. Okay. That's what I want to hear.
I mean, I can.
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
I work
won't
with
be an
people,
asshole or whatever.
so-
I'd be curious. I just really want to. The question, and you can even prep them ahead on. The question I want to ask is like, convince me as somebody who's felt like they've been under constant, condescending, patronizing, vitriolic attack from your side. Convince me to show grace, and that's all I want to hear. I'm just curious what their answer would be. How would they do that?
Hold on, channeling my inner black woman, okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What if they give you the answer that they don't support that kind of stuff that Trump is doing?
Then I would ask them why they voted for it.
But
Like, do you notice, like, Hobbit is like, oh, you know what? I know exactly what answers they're gonna give. What if they say this? What if they say that? Bitch, are you on our side or are you a fucking Republican?
that you know that's going to be the answer.
That's fine.
Is
But then I would
that
ask.
why
Then I would
don't
ask
support
them.
him doing
Sure,
it?
that's fine. Then I would say, why do you have the right to vote? Why should you be allowed to vote?
Because they're an American citizen.
Why should that be enough?
If that's the answer, then I can be retributive because I'm an American citizen. If we're going to go down to that base line of thing, then sure. Then I would say, okay, fine. Then that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Gonna have to work on these
That
sounds? I'm
just-
sorry.
You said that we should strip those people of their Second Amendment right, and that just as much as those people aren't using their Second Amendment right to go against Trump, neither are we. So,
No. It's not about that.
not what
I'm saying that these people were saying that the reason why we have the Second Amendment is to fight against a corrupt government. But these guys won't even vote against a corrupt government. So why the fuck are you telling me you need guns to fight against a corrupt government? You don't need the guns. You're obviously not going to use them. If you're not even willing to vote or post on social media that you don't support them. Why would you think you fight the government with your guns? That's all I'm saying.
Ouch.
But yeah, but this just goes back to
Motherfuckers who deny moral agency to voters genuinely don't believe in democracy. Fuck is the point of letting a person gain the privilege of exerting power? This is just Magnus, by the way, from DUG. I'm gonna read out the DG names from now on just to incentivize more people replying back to me in DG, okay? Because yeah, okay. So Just Magnus says, Foodshops, the motherfuckers who deny moral agency to voters genuinely don't believe in democracy. Fuck is the point of letting a person have the privilege of exerting power over the state through voting if you can't hold them morally responsible for that action? Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, that's, yeah, I mean, the argument is pretty simple to understand. Yeah.
Or
Why would you say that?
Because you're basically saying there should be consequences of some kind for January 6th or the perpetrating of January 6th, right? Or for everything in combination with January 6th. Because again, it's not just January 6th, right? It's politicians trying to overthrow democracy, and it's the voters that are enabling the overthrow of democracy, right? They're voting for the overthrowing of democracy through illegal means. Okay, if it's through illegal means, there has to be consequences, okay? All right, what are the consequences? Oh wait, Trump pardoned all of them. Trump just saves everybody. Trump is even willing to give like a fucking pardon deal, maybe, to Ghislaine Maxwell. What? Are you actually fucking out of your mind? Or he is willing to give a pardon for who? All the January 6ers? Everybody who was involved in the Michigan slate, like electoral shit? What? Are you out of your fucking mind? So the consequence, okay, is just take away the guns. Okay, fine. Then you shouldn't, like, you're not willing to oppose a corrupt government, then maybe you shouldn't have the means to oppose a corrupt government. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting the argument of. Okay, if I'm misinterpreting the argument, let me know. Okay.
where people, and I don't know how you have these positions when you talk to people that constantly say like, oh well, you know,
We know from Lake C is even considering pardoning Diddy, bro. Come on. Who is Trump gonna pardon next? The helicopter that killed Kobe? Like, come on, get it together, man.
we saw what he did in the first term. What about the people that just voted for Trump because they thought it would be more of what the first term was?
Then why? Then
That-
how? Then I just don't know how. Like at the end of the day, the only position that you're arguing me towards is that like democracy in the United States has failed. That the average voter can't be expected to know anything. That when the RNC has a conference with Donald Trump and everybody is holding up signs saying mass deportation now, I'm just supposed to expect the average citizen to be totally clued out, to have no concept of what the president wants to do, to not know anything. And in that case, like at that point, I don't even want to say I'm pro oligarchy because apparently the rich people in America are fucking retards, or at least the crypto finance bros are. So I don't know. I'd move somewhere else or do something. But at that point, like the system has failed, or we need IQ or some other type of testing. God, I don't give a fuck who can or can't vote at that point. But like something is fundamentally broken at that point. And I think they would agree that there would be a reckoning there where it's like, okay, yeah, fuck, maybe we should have to know the bare minimum amount of our country in order to actually vote for, whatever. Like,
and so maybe that's what you should be pushing for, is because that is where I'm at, is where I think you can't expect these things.
You know what really sucks is that I feel like artistically we have gone full circle, right? Get this, okay? So Steven started with debating Republicans on the internet, right? That's where his career began. Okay, so he began with debating Republicans. Okay. Well, now he went to the lefty arc. Okay, so he's debating lefties. And now we've went back to the very beginning, debating Republicans again. And now for the final boss of all debate, debating liberals, debating your own people. It's like one of these movies or video games where the final boss is just somebody on your own side. Like, that is what the final boss is. The final boss isn't the opposing side from the, oh my god. It's just Expedition 33. Okay, spoiler alert, okay? Oh my god. You begin with your team, okay? Verso, Mael. But you don't end up having the Paintress be the final boss. The final boss is Verso. Or Mael, depending on who you choose, right? We all know what the correct decision is. Anyway. So, depending on who you choose, that is the final boss. Oh my god. It's someone from your own team? Get this. Metal Gear Solid 3, okay? Who's the final boss? The thick-ass lady, okay? Alright? Not Revolver Ocelot, okay? Thick-ass lady, okay? In the flower of fields, okay? In the field of flowers, okay? It all wraps back around to fighting your own side. Because we're all soldiers of war and nothing means anything. Oh my god. Absolute cinema. No, it began with SC2. Okay. Screw you, okay? Fuck you. I don't. Okay, listen, whatever, man.
Of people.
Okay.
So what are you going to
Fuck
do
you.
in that situation?
I
And so
disagree,
that's
though. I think
where-
we can expect it. We just have to culturally push for it. People know a surprising amount of stuff when you get to like really fucking stupid areas of not.
War never changes. Ah, boy, exactly. It's young boys sent to die in the old men's war. Oh my god. Confucius say.
Knowledge, right? Like my mom is apparently doesn't know fucking anything about the horrible shit the Trump admin does, but she could probably tell you the fucking chemical makeup of ivermectin, or can tell you every single random person. I know so much random shit about like the Weather Underground and Bill Ayers, or all these like terrorists that supposedly Obama was talking to all day. Like conservatives consume so much media. These guys are PhDs when it comes to disinformation. They could give you every single talking point that Dmitry cooked up in his shitty little Kremlin air-conditioned room. Like, so they know stuff and they can learn stuff, but they choose not to for some reason, and that's what would have to be pushed against. If they were literally just retards walking the street, like, what do you think about Trump? Like, then it's like, okay, fuck, I guess whatever. It's a coin flip who this guy votes for. But when it feels like so many people can rattle off just like all these talking points, like, and even if they don't know, like in the weeds 100%, oh, Trump's bringing back all the manufacturing, or he's like trying to get countries to stop scamming. It's like, well, do you even know what that means? It's like, well, no. Well, then why are you voting? Just don't. Like, we don't need your voice in politics if you're not going to take some time to cultivate it, which would be true in every single.
Wait, you know what's also crazy is that if you think that this is a crazy take, just remember that people like Asmongold is literally advocating for 80% of the country to not vote, okay? So truly tit for tat, if we're not even talking about generous tit for tat, if we're talking about true tit for tat, which is not like the tit for tat version that Destiny is advocating for, if you're advocating for true tit for tat, you would be advocating for 80% to not vote in the country, all right? Because if Asmongold advocates, Asmongold being a bigger streamer than Destiny, advocates for 80% of the country not voting, then yeah, you should also advocate for that. Okay, because that's truly tit for tat. You should advocate for all the Republicans to never vote again, and even some moderates to never vote again. Just ensure the Republicans will never win an election ever again by policy. Okay, at this point, like, yeah, then that is basically matching Asmongold's energy. Okay,
Other circumstance in life. And
because again, it's unfair. It's unfair for Asmongold to advocate for that, but we cannot. Right? Like that's an unfair battle. That's a really, really unfair battle, and moderates will not be able to look at that and go, you know what? I see the difference. No, moderates will be like, you know what? I kind of get it. Okay? All of these dumbasses voting when I, the enlightened moderate, can just vote and be correct. What's the point? Just prevent 80% of the population from voting. I'm going to be in the 20%. Hint, they're not. Okay? But I'm going to be in the 20% who actually has the right to vote. It's like, bro, you can convince them to do anything or get them used to any situation forever. Okay? It's, yeah, so retarded.
every other area in life, you would look to informed leadership. You would look to people that know what they're doing. You would never say one person, one vote when 90% of the people don't know what the fuck is going on. You would just never do that.
Well, and that's why I would advocate for like, different, I don't know if it would be regulations or anything on media and stuff like that cause people to be in the positions that they're in.
Sure. And
So
I think I'd be okay with that, but
know.
that would have to start with Republicans acknowledging that they're brainwashed. But that's about as politically possible as my forbidding from holding future office idea.
True.
Maybe, but I'm going to start driving home and sitting in a fucking
Listen, Hutch is just green FM.
parking lot at work
Okay.
this whole time. So,
I love you, buddy. Be careful.
Yeah. But yeah, I love you both. Okay.
Yeah,
Especially
love you,
Zip Zip.
I don't. Please stop having bad takes.
I need to figure out. Okay, actually, I'm going to put this out into the ether.
Uh-oh.
Anybody that is permanently banned, okay, from the subreddit,
Yes.
anybody whatsoever that is permanently banned from the subreddit, and you have gone into mod mail and we have told you to fuck off, okay,
Jesus.
you have a chance to send in a mod mail, and you need to say, I plan on.
So Tiny and Asmon are two sides of the same correct coin. No, not even close. Tiny is advocating for tit for tat. Asmongold is just advocating for whatever the fuck you want. Okay, there's a difference. All right, because again, all right, if we're truly practicing tit for tat, then Destiny is advocating, should on principle advocate because it is the right thing to do morally and pragmatically. It is the right thing to do. However, Asmongold doesn't give a fuck about tit for tat. He doesn't care about tit for tat. What he cares about is pushing his own agenda, and what he cares about is breaking the law to go after enemies that he does not like. For example, Asmongold has advocated for framing protesters so then he has the ability to arrest them. Like, what the fuck? Are you actually fucking kidding me? How is that the world we live in where he can advocate for that, but we can't? Or like, okay, all right, yeah. Okay, cool. Productive conversation. Like, I was actually trying to engage with you in good faith, by the way. Okay.
Peeling this ban one more time, and we are going to do it on
Specify
Zip
in your
Zip
Like the one time I engaged with a DGGer in DG chat in good faith on a disagreement, like they just start memeing. Like, dude, forget about it. I don't even know why.
45s. Yeah, and it needs
What
to be
the
good,
fuck?
okay? None of these
Like I would rather fucking respond to my own fucking chats. Like
fucking
Jesus.
one-line
So
bullshit,
stupid.
okay?
I want all the Mr. Girl supporters. I want the empath chans. I want all the people. Yes.
Yeah, bring me all the people that called Destiny a sex pest over and over and over again and got banned. Bring all of those people because I want to do ban appeals, but we appeal people in a more efficient way. So if you are super fucked in the subreddit, please put in a ban appeal if you want to be on ZipZip's or read off on ZipZip's stream for their ban appeal shit.
Hell
And
yeah.
then Destiny, real quick, we're talking about changing some of the rules in the subreddit. How do you feel about AI posting, real quick, before I go?
What?
How do I feel about AI
cares?
posting? What do you mean by that?
Like people who just like,
Bro, let's not pretend the average, like, hold on. This is something that's like a little bit less politics related. Let's not pretend like the average post on the subreddit is better than an AI post. Okay, I'm sorry. Wait, unless it's posted by an AI, that's probably a bad precedent to start. But if someone posts like fucking Ghibli film AI like kind of shit, like there's no, that's not a big deal. Who cares, right? Yeah, I don't know. That's just my take on it. Aspen is tit for tat, but he just believes all the propaganda that the left has. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. He does believe in tit for tat, but it's through his tiny little perception brain, okay, that does not know how to filter out false information. So he just assumes that the left has in fact destroyed like 50 trillion children with their penis. Okay, like yeah, it's silly.
post like, oh, look at what I asked ChatGPT today. Is Destiny a woman's name? Like, I'm thinking about just making that a rule that like low effort AI posts are.
Let him post it for now and get upvoted, downvoted accordingly. And then if we feel like it's an issue, then we'll address it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right, love you guys.
I love
I'm
you.
sure
Careful.
democracy will work in that case.
Stop.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Damn.
Oh, I can't believe this. What a retarded waste of time bullshit. No, I don't think the discussion was a waste of time. Okay, like it's like if they didn't have like a fucking if they didn't have a debate, like I wouldn't cover Destiny stream right this much today. It's only because they had that debate on why I covered it right now, right? But like, but like, we're talking about how painful that was. That was extremely painful. Okay, like that was just bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. And it like this makes me never want to talk about politics ever again. Holy shit. Oh my god.